disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be alright, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You happy because you got nothing? You don't got a thing. You happy because you got nothing? Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Welcome everybody to the Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your good friend Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment. We will be remedying that as the show goes on, but before we do that, fellas, fantastic late night comfy edition for everybody. Open phone lines for the fight that we just saw between Canelo Alvarez and Saul Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders. My goodness gracious, I'm a little tired right now. That's why I'm drinking my patented black tea, because I know people want to talk about this fight. Spoilers for anybody that hasn't been keeping up with what just happened here. Canelo Alvarez stops Billy Joe Saunders in the 8th round in what turned out to be an interesting fight. Unexpected by a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, considering the little ruhaha that we had in the last show. And let me tell you something. We want to get to the bottom of whether Billy Joe Saunders quit or did the doctor stop the fight, because I had to leave as soon as the fight ended to set up this show. People in the Discord are saying that he actually said no mas. If somebody in the chat room can confirm that for me, that'd be fantastic. By the way, fellas, don't forget, Gonzalo's GoFundMe page still up. I think the good news, I don't know if he's already told you fellas, but I think Mateo has been taken off the tube. He was intubated for about more than 5 weeks, I think. Now, good news, they took the tube away. He can breathe on his own, or they're starting to see if he can breathe on his own. So progress is being made. So if you fellas want to contribute to the GoFundMe, go ahead and do so, fellas. Every little bit helps. Please, no super chats. Please do not send us any super chats. If you got a little bit to donate, please give it to Gonzalo, all right? We don't need the super chats. We appreciate them, but we don't need them. All right, so phone lines are open, fellas. If you want to call in, let us know. Oh, we already got a phone call here. All right, all right, let's get to this phone call real quick, and then I'll start inviting people. All right, 407, you're on the air. 407, what's on your mind? By the way, please mute your. Hold on, please. Before you continue, please mute your TV, because I hear the TV in the background. Yeah. Yes.
My bad.
Don't worry about it.
Honestly, I respect anyone that steps into the ring. Canelo's a talented fighter, but he looked terrible today. Or tonight.
Canelo looked terrible, you're saying?
He didn't... Yeah, he was laying them power punches good, but he rarely connected, and I expected him to do a lot better. I expected him to either do a quick stoppage, like run right through him inside like 4 or 5, or he would have been patient, kind of like the Kovalev fight. But this was just... And I'm not just saying this because I'm not a big Canelo guy, but I thought he would have done a lot better. And yeah, Slick Fighter still giving problems, and he better not go up to 175 because he's going to get some big problems there if he gets with a hitter like Beterbiev. Unless Beterbiev gets old, which, age is getting there. But yeah, he better not get with a big hitter that knows how to set up stuff, is all I'm saying.
Man, let me tell you, this whole thing of Canelo's a very, very good fighter, but these people that were saying that, Canelo's invincible and the only challenge is at 175, I gotta tell you, fellas, a little hand speed and power can give him a lot of trouble. He's not invincible. So, yeah, I thought he was looking good in the early rounds. I was surprised at how good he looked early on because I thought it was going to take him a couple of rounds to get started, get warmed up. But no, first 3 rounds, I thought he was actually winning the 2 out of the first 3, and then all of a sudden, Billy Joe Saunders started to find his rhythm, getting comfortable. So you saw a bit of the same thing that I did. You saw Billy Joe Saunders giving him trouble because I mean, you do have to give Billy Joe Saunders credit, right? He wasn't, yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm sorry for interrupting. I didn't think Billy Joe would sting him the way he did because there were some shots out that were just like, whoa, that should have not. Canelo should have reacted the way that he did.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you got to give Billy Joe Saunders his credit. The guy went in there, started pumping that jab. I don't know. By the way, caller, did they clarify? Because I had to leave as soon as the fight ended. What did Billy Joe Saunders say? Did he do a post-fight, or what was the reason for the stoppage?
No, he walked away immediately. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah.
All right, I think he quit. So, real quick, what do you think is next for Canelo? What do you want to see from you? You want to see him in against Benavidez? Would you be happy with the Caleb? Looking at how he did against the Slickster and how he struggled there in spots, would you like to see him fight Caleb Plant instead of Benavidez? Like, what's your take on that?
I want to say Benavidez because of the hand speed and power, but he's probably going to go for Caleb Plant. He's probably going to get all juiced up and ready for that one. I don't know what he's going to take, EPO, meat, but he's going to take something for that fight. Because he knows, or at least it's known that Caleb could have gas tank issues, but if he can do what Billy Joe did and a little bit more, if he can work on that cardio, he could be an issue. But I got Canelo by late TKO for that one.
Yeah, because Caleb Plant's face, as I've said before, is made out of foreskin. It's just very thin, and he's going to get all scratched up. Anyway, 407, thank you for calling in. We have to move on, but thank you for your call, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, man? Take it easy.
You take care. God bless. And
you too, man.
Congrats to Mateo. That kid's a warrior.
That's right, Mateo. Don't forget, fellas, GoFundMe. You can still fund for Mateo. The Gonzalo's not out of the woods yet. He still has to pay for the medicine and for the doctors. The bills are going to come in eventually. By the way, we've got Stu and Revolucion on the line. Fellas, are you there?
What's up, man, BDA?
Yo, what up, everybody?
How you doing, fellas?
What's up, man? Shawn Michaels. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, Stu. Chilling out right now. Had a good class on Thursday.
I'm proud of you. I'm actually quite proud of Revolution. He's bit on the gum shield. He's got stuck into this wrestling business. I mean, look,
yeah.
Good luck to you, bro. One day I hope to sign in, clock into WWE and see you there on the fucking ropes.
That's right.
Thanks, brother. Right. Hey, you got to see one of my matches, right? Did I show you my practice matches?
No, I'm gonna have to check them out, bro. But fair play to you, bro. I mean, anyone that goes and does what they want to do, goes and lives their dream, has got my respect.
Hey, fellas,
thanks,
I just
brother.
wanted to say,
I appreciate that.
Real quick, I forgot to say hello to everybody in the chat. 13 Rounds of Boxing, Rinnegan Sensei, Trump 2020, Logic, Brian, Guerrero de la Info, Jonathan Morrison, Jonathan Akingba, Julius Evola, Double A, and many more people. Some people are saying that they're calling Billy Joe Saunders a quitter. Stu, what did you think of Billy Joe Saunders' performance? And Canelo's as well.
Well, picked an 8th round stoppage, didn't I? So no surprise there. Oh, I thought it was the body shot that was going to stop it, but let's be real, the body shots were the ones that were doing the damage. I mean, as soon as Canelo stepped up the gears, he fell to pieces. I mean, look, Canelo's like a steam train. He takes a while to get going. There's nothing happening early on. I mean, today he was quite busy early on, but usually he goes up the gears slowly, and once he gets to about 7 and 8, that's when he starts to turn it on, and that's when a lot of these guys fold. And I just knew Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, look, he talks a good game, doesn't he? And he's a good fighter, Billy Joe Saunders. But we're talking about Canelo Alvarez, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And there was just no way I could see Billy Joe Saunders winning this fight. Just no way whatsoever. He was never going to stop him, and he was never durable enough. I mean, you've got to have Golovkin toughness to survive that. I mean, look, I know Callum Smith went to 12, but look, Callum Smith, I mean, just got destroyed for every second of every round. So that's not an achievement for me. You've got to kind of try and win rounds. Billy Joe Saunders won rounds. He couldn't fight. Just not strong enough, not tough enough. And look, Canelo's a special fighter. I mean, I don't care what all you fucking haters in the chat try to knock him, trying to say he's this, he's that, he's a fraud. I mean, Matthias in the chat. I don't know where Matthias is from. He's probably from somewhere from Georgia or somewhere in Eastern Europe that's got no fighters whatsoever. Yet wants to criticise everyone else's fight. One of them fucking clowns. This guy called Canelo a fraud. I mean, I actually wanted to smash my phone when I saw that. And how can you call this guy a fraud? I mean, and then you sit there and fucking praise Golovkin scraping Derevchenko wins. I mean, look, I'm at the stage now where people have to start, whether you hate the guy or not, take your fucking hat off to the guy. The guy is a special talent. And when he's gone, you'll appreciate him, just like I did Floyd. I hated Floyd Mayweather for years. Hated the guy. Just nothing about that guy I liked. But once he retired, I started to appreciate how great he was. And I think that's the same with Canelo. But you fucking haters, you're gonna come up with some conspiracy that Billy Joe Saunders was spiked in the 7th round by some Panama Lewis juice. Get the fuck out of here. I've had enough of you clowns.
It was the grassy knoll juice. It was the juice from the grassy knoll, man. That's what did it, man. Go ahead, Luciano.
He got a fucking titanium spike to the eye, it looks like. I'm gonna say right now that eye is definitely fucked up. Like way more than just closed up. I'm thinking orbital, something like that. Fractures, who knows?
Listen to you clowns. Stop making this night about Triple G, because Triple G's nowhere to be seen. Triple G, he just wants to fight cans until he retires, because look, he's chasing Canelo and then no one else. Look, forget about Golovkin. He's had his day. He was a great fighter. Forget about him. Why are you making tonight? Triple G would have beat Billy Joe Saunders. Funny enough, Triple G signed to fight Billy Joe and pulled out. So look, I don't mean to get at Triple G fans, but they are fucking the cringiest fans on the planet. Get the fuck out of here, that fraud.
Well, let me say something. I mean, I think if Canelo wanted to challenge himself, he should have gone for the 3rd Triple G fight. But like even Stu said, Triple G at this point doesn't want any big fights unless it's Canelo. His heart is out of the equation. So look, blame Golovkin too for a little bit for that, but also blame Canelo because look, he's not fixing these fights, I don't think. But he has set conditions. He has set up conditions that favor him, but that doesn't mean he's actually telling these guys, "Hey, listen."
Look, I tell you what, all you guys that said Golovkin won the 2nd fight. I mean, if I won a fight, if I went back to my house, looked at my wife in the eye, and said I won the fight, I couldn't be honest with myself. The guy looked like a fucking truck had hit him. I mean, Canelo pieced that guy up all night. You clowns with your fucking Golovkin dildos in your hand.
Okay, come on,
I'm still seeing a win. Look, I've had enough of you guys, man. Get the fuck out of it. Canelo, start giving this guy credit. Stop making Canelo about Golovkin. Canelo's going out making challenges, testing himself. Against light heavyweights and super middleweights. Where's Golovkin fighting some Japanese fucking bum? I've had enough, man. And just watching these clowns in the chat makes me sick to my stomach. I'm tired, and when I'm tired, I get angry, and this is where we are.
You're always boys, angry, man. But hold on, before we continue, shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution. Fellas, please do not donate via the super chat. If you got some money, please give it to Gonzalo. The GoFundMe page is there. The comment is pinned in the chat. But shout out to Paper Tiger anyways. He says Canelo's whole style is telegraphed, putting his weight on one foot to facilitate head movement and power punches, left, right, left, right. That's a great point, Paper Tiger, and that's because he can get away with it so far. But you saw tonight, it was costing him a little bit because it looked like the same shit over and over, and he got away with it because he has power. But against a better fighter, you never know, man. Maybe that like Stu said, somebody durable could backfire. Real quick, we got to go to a couple of phone calls here because they're starting to pile up here. And don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. It always helps us out. Let's go to 626. You're on the air. 626. What's on your mind?
Hi, this is Chris K, Undercover Asian.
Oh, Chris, thank you for calling in, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I know what happened. Canelo had some of that Bolo Young powder rubbed on his glove right before the round, and he didn't even hit Saunders clean in the eye. Just that some of that powder got in the eye and it shut right away.
Hey, but you never know, man. You never know. But in all seriousness, what did you think? I mean, how did Canelo look to you, and how did Billy Joe Saunders look? Did you expect? I forget what your prediction was, but how did you see the fight ending up?
Well, originally, and I wanted to build on what Stu said. just a couple minutes ago. But originally, I thought that Canelo would be able to use his, looping body shots, the wide hooks, to stop Saunders' lateral movement. But he really wasn't landing much, to be honest. Canelo wasn't. And even when you hurt Saunders in that last round, I guess it was a left hook, I think, or maybe an uppercut. Anyway, he was still missing a lot of his shots. I know Saunders was in full defensive mode, so that's a little different. But, Saunders was ducking under punches still. So in my overall impression is that Saunders was never going to win because he's throwing pity-pat shots. But he was also reminding us that Canelo has trouble with, like you said, slicksters, especially, I guess, southpaws. Mm-hmm. So that problem was still there. It's Canelo's heavy feet or whatever. He plods. And I'm not sure if Canelo was waiting to turn up the gears, as Stu said, until the later rounds, or if he caught Saunders with that perfect shot and, like it is with the orbital bone, right? Because sometimes you can get hit 100 times and then one punch can smash it, right? So I don't want to say Canelo was lucky, obviously, but I think maybe damaging that eye socket was fortunate for Canelo because he might have not looked too great for the remaining rounds. So that's my overall impression.
Potentially, yeah, that's a good breakdown, man. Now, who do you want to see Canelo fight next? A slickster in Caleb Plant or the power puncher in Benavides?
Probably Benavides, just because it seems like it'd be more exciting. Plant looks like it might be more of a beatdown. I don't know. I don't really seen Plant fight that much, but I can't see him being slicker than Billy Joe. I'm not a Canelo fan, so yeah, I kind of just want to see him get knocked out. But that's drinking too much haterade on my part, anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who's gonna put up a good fight with Canelo these days. I guess Triple G, still has it maybe to at least be competitive. I don't think he'll win, but Benavides maybe. But Benavides isn't really proven, right? We need to see more of Benavides as well.
Yeah,
listen, I don't know.
Definitely. I mean, look, Benavides is that guy that's talks a good game, doesn't he? But never proves himself, really. I mean, he needs that signature win. We're not getting it from Benavides. Doesn't really want to fight anyone. I want Golovkin next. Do you know why? I'll tell you why I want Golovkin next. Because Canelo Alvarez will put a beating on that guy. He's too slow. His foot speed's gone. His punch resistance is going. He's slow. I mean, look, he telegraphs his shots now. He's defending. Canelo will piece this guy up in devastating fashion, and I can't wait to see it. Do you know why? Because these guys in the fucking chat, they're going to go and jump off a bridge, and the world's a better place all of a sudden, isn't it? These fucking guys, that's where I am.
So you're out of control. You're getting a little out of control, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
Reel it.
I'm not out of control. I'm sick. Look, you're a goody two shoes. So of course everything's out of control for you. I'm surprised you ain't on a woke march. Look, at the end of the day, right? I'm not out of control. I'm sick of these fucking guys making everything about Golovkin every show when he's nowhere to be seen. Canelo is stepping up to the plate time after time after time. Yet he's the one being criticised. Yet the guy sunbathing in Kazakhstan, if there's any sun there whatsoever, I don't know. He's the hero, isn't he? He's the all-time great. He wants to go and fight Murata in December. He's decided December's a good date for him. I ain't got time. Look, Golovkin had his chance to shine, blew it for me.
All right, here's the deal, fellas. We got to move through these phone calls here because I think Stu did shake up the hornet's nest because now we're getting a whole bunch of calls. So Chris, thank you for your call, man. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, man.
All right, thanks for having me.
Have a good night. All right, let's go to 612. 612, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, this is Chauvin from Minneapolis, and I was so impressed with Canelo. There were two stars tonight. That was Canelo and the Japanese guy who fought before him.
Oh yeah.
I think both had a great night. What Canelo did better in this fight compared to when he fought Lara is he tracked. He was pressurizing Billy Joe very well. He just kept him at one jab distance, and he kept tracking him very well. Like unlike Lara, who was just moving around the ring wherever he wanted. So good job, Canelo, and I hope. I think this is just a blueprint for beating Caleb Plant. Just attack the body and finish him off in the later rounds.
Absolutely, I agree.
Thanks.
Hey, by the way,
I just want to address that. Look, I know I've been getting hyped. It's a bit of tongue in cheek, a lot of it. Look, I'm going to try and be serious now, but look, I just love, I love seeing the reaction when Canelo puts on a good performance and gets a good win. I mean, I see these guys in the chat, and I can just see the anger even in their comments. I mean, I could just imagine there's going to be a few women getting a good idings tonight. Isn't there? Let's be real.
Okay, come on.
Jesus Christ, dude, I could
Hey, I gotta tell you,
I can see I can see the foam forming in the corners of Stu's mouth, man. Stu, man, do a rail for me, bro. Do a rail for me. I love the energy. I love how you're fighting with the chat, man.
Let me
Keep
tell
it
you
going,
something.
baby.
This is vintage too, man.
Look, thank you, my brother. Like I said, I'm a lone soldier, and I'm like fucking Rambo. I fight armies on my own, and look. This is where it is. I've got eyes. They work. When I see talent, I'm gonna back this talent, no matter where they're from. I'm not one of these guys that pick fighters through nationality. I like to see talent. Billy Joe Saunders is a Brit. I should be backing Billy Joe. No, I want Canelo to win, and I want him to do it in devastating fashion like he did. Canelo's a special talent, man. I've been seeing it for years. As much as you hate the guy, some people do hate him, if you know boxing, you'll know this guy's special. And that's where I am. I mean, I see a lot of hate with Canelo for the wrong reasons. You know, I hate on him for certain things, but not for his fighting ability, because the kid is a fucking talent. Billy Joe Saunders is no bun, by the way. Billy Joe Saunders is a very good fighter, and Canelo was like in second gear. That's how good.
I agree, man.
I knew that was going to happen anyway. I picked an 8th round stoppage. That's what happened.
Well, listen, you also have to take into consideration, like, look, I'm a little bit with Stu, but not at the same time. I am not with Stu in the sense that I understand why people hate Canelo because of all the diva behavior he has outside the ring. But like he said, fighting ability, all this talk of him fixing fights. First of all, if somebody's fixing fights, I doubt it's him directly. But anyway, we're going to get to that real quick. Let's go to another phone call here because we got a whole lot of people. 858, you're on the air. 858, what's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me. Yeah, that's what I want to say. You know, obviously there's always going to be haters, you know, with the best fighters, you know, in the world. I think what people want to see, and you guys talked about it, you know, prior to this fight, is you just want to see the best challenge themselves. So like Floyd, there was times you wanted to see him fight guys like Margarito, you know, Sergio Martinez, Paul Williams, but he never fought him. We'll never know. Maybe he would have won. Canelo, we want to see him, you know. I mean, technically, Canelo's already, you know, kind of proven himself. So there's not much he needs to do. Maybe the third Triple G, and he can kind of cement his legacy. But yeah, it's a good win. But you know, see him fight Benavidez and you know, keep pushing himself. I think, you know, he'll continue to kind of, you know, gain the credit he deserves.
You know, fight somebody with firepower, right? Because Billy Joe Saunders, people said, he can't hit. Trust me, the guy hits hard enough to get his respect. And you could tell that Canelo wasn't just barging in there because he respected that punching power. So, but now imagine what happens if you fight somebody like Benavidez. That's going to be an interesting one. So my question to you...
Look, Benavidez will get the same treatment as the rest of them have got. Don't think that... No, this is what I mean. I mean, look, Benavidez, I mean, yeah, he looks good at the moment because he's fighting nobody. Well, he's not nowhere near ready for someone like Canelo. What preparation has he had to fight someone like Canelo? He's not even fought the best in his own division, mate. This is the thing, you get stuck in a gear fighting these guys, lower level, looking slick, looking pretty, but then when it comes to the trenches and you're in there with a guy that's as good as you, mate, that's when you see the true fighters. And yeah, I mean, Benavidez will get the same. If anything, he'll get knocked out as well. I mean, look, let's be real. He's not good enough to beat Canelo. To beat Canelo, you've got to go and get Beterbiev in good form. You know, even him in good form. Yeah. He's going to have to be in good form for that. You're not going to.
Right.
None of these other guys are.
No, I agree. I think Canelo will probably beat these next 2-3 fights. He'll probably fight Benavidez and, you know, fight Plant and similar fighters. But years ago, we wanted to see him fight other fighters. So hopefully he'll either move up or just keep challenging the best. And if he keeps beating him, he's just going to keep adding trophies to his resume. So
that's right. Listen, thank you for your call, man. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, man. Good call.
Okay.
Take it easy, man. All right, good night. Let's go to 346. Is it? Yeah, okay. Hold on a second. There we go. 346. You're on the air. 346. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey, what a man, it's a logical man. That fight was nice, bro. I didn't expect, Billy Joe, to even, do that well. To be honest with you, I don't get his ass knocked out, maybe 6 rounds. But he was doing pretty good. He fired behind about 2 rounds, man, until, he got that ass clocked with that uppercut and had to quit in the corner, man. I got to say this, man. I ain't a big fan of Wilder like that, bro, but at least he went back in there and got that ass whooped. So, but, hey, Billy Joe got messed up, man.
Yeah, he got. Did he say Did he do any sort of post-fight interview? Because I heard he walked away real quick.
Well, of course he walked away quick. I mean, look,
his entourage stopped the cameras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look, this is the problem. When you go around giving it the big mouth, you better back your shit up. Because the worst thing you can do is go around giving it the big one and then quit. I mean, this is just the worst thing you can do. And the problem with Billy Joe, I knew this was going to happen. All right, I thought the body shots would be the one to stop him. I think deep down the body shots were probably the one that did cause the damage. Because he's just vulnerable. Because he's never in good shape. He's, most of his camps are losing weight. He's never in good shape. He's never prepared, is he? He just weren't ready for Canelo. You cannot be fighting some bum kickboxer and then get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. You've got to be. He should have been fighting good opponents, and even then it weren't going to be enough. But look, Billy Joe Saunders was never going to win that fight. I just never saw a way he could win it. To beat Canelo Alvarez, you've got to be a puncher like Golovkin. You've got to have the durability of Golovkin, but you've got to also have the hand speed of like a Charlo or something as well. He's a very, very difficult guy to beat.
That's right. Now, logical.
What do you guys think about? Hold on.
Logical, man. I wanted to ask you, who did you have? I think Chris Mannix had Billy Joe Saunders up by 1 point at some point in the fight. Did you agree with that, or did you think he was a little crazy?
Nah, man. I can say it was even in one part of the fight, but a point up, no.
All right.
No.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because I said the same thing. I said, "Whoa, he has him up by 1." I thought he was behind by a point, but I couldn't see him ahead. Maybe I'd have to rewatch the fight. Anyway, Logical Man, thank you for your call. We gotta move on. But okay, last question, real quick though. Who would you like? Who would you like to see Canelo fight next?
BJ, just one thing quickly, bro. Do you think Billy Joe quit tonight, or would you say he did the right thing? Because I don't really say I don't like to call him a quitter because he went in there and give it a go, and that's all you can ask from a fight. But then the day he didn't come out. He didn't come out the corner, so that tells you he said enough. Is that a quitter or not? I don't know. You tell me.
Look, they called Dane Dubois a quitter, but his eye was completely fucking closed, and the dude is still a prospect, and they called him a quitter, but he stood there and got his ass whooped. His eye was closed. He went out there and kept getting it punched in.
Yeah, look.
And he had the needle.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
man.
I get
Billy
that.
Joe,
I'm not going to call Billy Joe Saunders a quitter because he give it a go. He actually, like the caller said, he actually gave a better performance than I thought he would. I thought he might have just been on the run, getting pieced up, but he actually give it a go. So I don't mind. That's what you can ask from the guy. But I just knew he wasn't going to be durable enough. You've got to be like a real tough nut to crack to beat Golovkin, man. You've got to be very skilled as well. It's like I said, toughness ain't going to be enough.
That's right.
Punching power's not going to be enough.
Logical, man.
My 2 cents.
Logical, man. We got to move on. But thank you for your call. We'll catch you on the next one, all right, man? Good call.
Yes, sir. All right, please.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, Louison, go ahead and then... some other guy... Okay, go ahead, Louison.
Yeah, my 2 cents on the whole thing with the quitting and the eye injury and everything. I mean, everybody says, hey, we should fight, go out on your shield, don't quit. But imagine you're in that corner and, like, you could feel in the side of your face by your eye, something's moving, something's clicking, something ain't right in the bone, and like if you fight, that shit might shatter, and now this is your face fucking caving in. You know what I mean? I think at the point, I think Billy Joe suffered a really legit injury. I think we're gonna find out in the next few days it was really bad, and people are gonna say, hey, you know what? Good thing that he had the sensibility to get off the fucking stool and walk out.
Yeah, because it swelled up from 1 second to the next. So
Yeah.
either he got thumbed or, like you said, something was fractured there. I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it. But yeah, I can understand why people are dubious, because we've seen way too many instances where a guy just refused to go on, especially because the momentum was going against him.
And you could always say, oh, like, Joe Smith Jr. fought with a broken jaw, or all this and that, and those guys did it. But look, that's a fucking choice for everybody. I don't think it makes you any less of a man to say, hey, I don't want to risk fucking permanent damage right now over a fight. Like, I mean, every time you step in the ring, yeah, it's dangerous, but when it's on you and you're like, all right, if I take one more shot, it's gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Use your noggin.
If I can comment after the call.
Yeah, yes, please, Gonzalo. Let me just get through this call here, because we want to investigate this fight from all angles, from what you just saw. 470, you're on the air. 470, what's on your mind?
It was good, guys. It was a good fight. Y'all talking just overall general about the fight? I know you guys just start speaking about whether or not you felt Billy Joe quit. My view, he quit. The corner quit. I'm not sure who actually was the one who stopped the fight. I think it was the trainer. But yeah, I would have liked to seen him at least try to continue. In terms of the fight, it was actually pretty interesting to see some of the strategy Billy Joe used. I did see that Canelo, one interesting thing I saw was Canelo. I don't believe the whole, move around the ring and box Canelo is the way to win.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody says, oh, Mayweather did it and Lara did it, but first of all, I mean, Mayweather was a guy who was rarely hit. I mean, you could count on one hand the amount of times he was hit in his prime. So nobody can really repeat what Mayweather did in the ring. Lara was a close fight, but Canelo punches too hard, too accurate. It's just running around the ring. You're giving him forward momentum. He's good at moving his head. He's moving his hips. He can slip. He can counter. I think Stu was saying it earlier. The guy, it kind of reminds me of Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, where Evander figured out that, if I push this guy back, if I don't give him that forward momentum, he can't generate the power. And that's what I saw Golovkin do to Canelo. I think that was a difficult fight for Canelo. And then also Beterbiev is somebody who can also do that to Canelo. But a guy like Caleb Plant, who wants to jab and run around the ring, it's just another suicide mission.
Great point, man.
It's going to need to be a hard, strong guy who can stay there with Canelo and push him back as well. Make Canelo go, because I noticed that Canelo can't fight when he's on the back foot. He can't. He's used to the generating forward momentum, generating power. And Billy Joe was doing good, in certain aspects of the fight, pushing Canelo back, but he just didn't have the durability to withstand. Once Canelo starts landing those uppercuts, he's just shooting power shots, and one of them's going to land, and this one landed on his eye.
That's a great fucking point. Especially like I keep saying, Caleb Plant's face will fall apart. He gets hit twice, and his whole face looks like he went through 15 rounds with Ivan Drago. I mean, it's just, what do you think is going to happen with Canelo, right? Like you were saying, it's just, put him in there at least against Benavidez, who's got a little mustard on his shots. But anyway, caller, great call, man. Really, who are you again? I think you've called him before, right?
Yeah, Chris out of Atlanta.
Chris out of Atlanta, great call, man. Thank you for your call, and we'll catch you in the next one, all right, man?
All right, guys.
Take it easy, man. Yeah, great calls. All right, go ahead, Gonzalo. You were going to say something?
Yeah, Mr. Radier. Plant, Jesus. Billy Joe Saunders, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Billy Joe Saunders he started doing good. The thing with Canelo, if you listen to the instructions in the corner by Eddie Reynoso, he tells him to shoot for the chest. And he's telling him to shoot for the chest. Okay, yeah, he'll hit the body in order to break down the body. But you shoot to the chest, and if you miss the chest, especially if the opponent is dipping his knees and moving, you're going to hit the throat or you're going to hit the neck. We saw how Billy Joe Saunders got hit on the neck, and that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So the same punch that broke his orbital, his cheek, the same punch, it's just throwing repetitively, like in the military. They tell you shoot for the chest, and you might hit the head. And this is what happened. He just kept throwing. Yeah, he does miss, but when he caught him, it's just that the repetitiveness of shooting to the chest. Yeah, and one more thing, they keep saying that that Canelo, I heard one caller, he's plotting, that his feet are stuck on mud. Well, this is why they call it stalking your opponent, walking your opponent down. It's not running your opponent down. It's walking your opponent down. And if Billy Joe Saunders is a mobile guy, Canelo he didn't struggle to catch him. When he lunged forward, he was able to close his distance and find them. Billy Joe Saunders started fighting a good fight. This is why I love boxing, because a lot of people say, Billy Saunders going to win the early rounds. No, Canelo did. And actually, in the middle rounds, Billy Joe Saunders started coming back, but unfortunately, he broke that cheekbone. But it was a decent fight. It wasn't a great fight. It was a good performance. And the guy just got injured. By shooting to the chest, you throw a punch with conviction, and if you miss, you're going to hit somewhere. You're going to hit the head. You're going to hit the shoulders. But yeah, you're punching through the target.
That's right. That's a great point. Yeah, you talked about that with the Arreola hitting him when he hit Luis hit Arreola on the wing and it hurt him. That's what you can get away with if you punch hard. Real quick, shout out to Paper Tiger who says, why is Canelo special talent? Because the TV told you if he's so special, compare him to Chocolatito or Pacquiao, true pound for pound fighters. Well, I think those guys are ahead of him overall in history, but you can't say that Canelo is all that far behind. Real quick, let's go to another phone call here. Like I said, we got a lot of phone calls to get through. Hold on a sec. Don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. 760, are you on the air? 760, what's on your mind?
Yes. I just want to say it was a competitive fight, I would say. A bunch of people are saying that he steamrolled him. He definitely won at least a couple rounds, no matter how you saw the fight. I would say he didn't quit. It was his corner that waved off. He did stay on the stool for a while, but it was Mark Tibbs that waved it off. You know, he at least finished the round. He could have took a knee like Dubois, but he didn't. He still finished the round, even if he was getting lit up. But I'd say he didn't quit. His eye was completely shut in the corner when his corner was looking at it. I saw a picture of it, and that was bad. I mean,
but why did his corner stop? Because usually,
out of it.
I understand if the corner stops it because a cut is bad and they decide to stop
His corner
it.
stopped it because he said he couldn't go on. He was shaking his head back and forth. I'm done. Halfway through that fucking break, he was done the minute his eye broke. He was just waiting to get to the corner to quit. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Well, there you have it, caller. There you have it, caller. Straight from Jimmy's mouth. Straight from Jimmy's mouth, man. All right, listen. By the way, caller, who do you want to see Canelo fight next?
I feel like Plant's going to be too easy of a fight, to be honest, because I think Saunders is much better than Plant. So I'd say either Benavidez, or I think he should just go up to 175. Take one of the big boys.
I don't know if he can handle this 175, but we'll see, man. 760, thank you for your call.
I feel like he has no competition except for like Benavidez.
Yeah, and
I guess he could run it back with Triple G, but he's kind of old now. He's still good, but I think his age is catching up to him.
I still think Triple G gives him a hell of a fight, man. I could be wrong, but that jab alone is going to cause him a lot of problems. Anyway, 760, thank you for your call, man. We got to move on. Catch you on the next one, all right, man? Take it easy.
See ya.
All right, let's go to 617. 617, you're on the air. 617, what's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Mike from Boston. How you guys doing today?
Mike, thank you for calling in, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man, I watched the fight, man. I actually was pretty damn impressed with, what Billy Joe Saunders was doing in that fight. I think Canelo was frustrated, in the earlier rounds. But, it was just what I thought would happen. It was just a matter of time before Canelo was going to land one of those big shots. So it was just body shots were going to start piling up. And the bottom line is Billy Joe Saunders cannot hurt Canelo. I mean, the guy's chin is just so damn strong. You're going to need a guy who can really crack to beat Canelo. Even Triple G, when we saw him fight him, that's why those fights were so great, because we had two guys who both had steel jaws just beating the shit out of each other. But anyways, I thought it was a good fight. I was very entertained. What do you guys think?
I liked it too, man. Well, you know what? Let's get Jimmy in here because he just came in. Now this is an opportunity to see what Jimmy, what did you think of the fight? Do you agree with Mike from Boston? Do you disagree with certain things? Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and fucking, because I was pretty fucking not very smug when it went exactly how I called it against Kovalov, and it went exactly how I called it today, right to the round.
8th round, yes. I called it.
8th round, I said he's going to fight. It went exactly, oh my God, it was like reading a fucking book, dude. I said he's going to sit there. He's going to take a few rounds to figure him out. I said he's not going to even, the first time he hits him with a body shot, I mean, any shot, a power shot, he's going to put everything behind it. For the psychological, listen, when you're in there, it's all psychological. You're just dancing with a dude. It's all psychological. And he fucking hit him with that shot and hit him on the fucking left arm. I mean, on the right arm with that left hook. And his whole body fucking changed. Like his everything. All of a sudden, his left leg in the back came up a little bit more. Did you see when Saunders was throwing those fucking girly left hands? His left leg would swing around with it. Like, shoo! Because he was fucking, Canelo wasn't in any time frustrated. It was just a matter of time. Okay, I'm going to get you a little closer. I'm going to figure out what you do to dive in. He kept diving down to the left. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to bench. But that's not what caught it. But yeah, no, he broke his eye socket. The minute when an eye turns black and blue right away without swelling, that means it's bleeding. Swelling usually is because of blood and inflammation swells up, right? You'll see like your guy will get caught. You'll get caught and it gets itchy almost. You're in the corner, you're rubbing at it, and they'll say, stop, your trainer, stop, your fucking eye's going to swell shut. His eye turned black and blue almost immediately. That means blood was pouring in. So he cracked the oracle bone right away. I said, his oracle bone's cracked. Let's see if he mans up like fighters throughout history and comes back and fights with it. Now, punk. Sat his punk running mouth ass down and didn't get back up. And he fucking did it. That fight went exactly. One fucking, I don't mean to be a little smug now and then, but hey, fuck you, by my friends over here, because they're all like, yeah, you call it. But yeah, no, nothing surprised me. It went exactly. And listen, Plant is not going to fight Canelo. Everybody needs to get that out of their head. That fight is not taking place. I don't know what Canelo's going to do. Having a 5'7.5" kid go up to light heavyweight is. Just to see him lose is just keep destroying everybody. And let's throw a little respect on Triple G's name because he beat that kid's ass, I think, in both fights, but definitely beat him in the first fight. And we're seeing what this kid does against everybody else now, but that's my piece.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Mike, do you agree with Jimmy with what he just said?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything, including the fact that he quit, because you could see when he was in his corner, he was basically, when he sat down, he was like basically motioning to them, no fucking way am I going back out there. And he was closing if you looked at his right eye, he was closing it. And like at one point they actually made him open it. Like they were like, can you open your eye? And first he was saying like, no, I can't. But then they like kind of opened it for him. And he was giving him every signal that he could, that he was like, I'm not getting back up off this seat and getting back in there and taking more shots. So I think he quit, but again, the guy did have a broken fucking bone. So shit, I thought overall he put on an interesting. I mean, he made the fight interesting. I would like to see Canelo fight someone who might actually have a chance of beating him at some point in his fucking career. But hey, dude, I'll take it for right now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was a top contender, super middleweight, and Canelo just busted his fucking orbital bone. So, what do you want from him? Mike, thank you for your call. We got to move on, but we'll catch you in the next one, all right, man?
All right.
Take it easy, man.
All right, man. Take it.
All right, let's go to another phone
call. Yeah, I had you on speak. He had everybody here laughing. A few buddies over. They just started laughing because they heard, what do you want from him?
Yeah, well, it's true, man. All right, let's go to 386. 386. Hold on. Okay, 386. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
What's up, guys? I want to say a couple things. First of all, Canelo was always known to be a combination puncher or a combination counter puncher. What happened to his combinations? He barely throws combinations. He plots forward and loads up, plots forward and loads up. And if you remember in the first Triple G fight in the 9th round, he landed a fucking howitzer right on Triple G, right on his chin. The hardest shot Canelo could possibly throw. Triple G walked right through it. And now this guy's fucking fracturing or breaking faces with just single shots. I mean, that's all he did was load up, walk him down, load up, no combinations or anything. Canelo looked like shit to me. I don't see a pound-for-pound fighter, and there's something fishy
Yeah, you
going on.
obviously
That's all
picked
I gotta
Saunders
say.
to win, huh?
Oh, Jim is calling you out, Action Jackson. You gonna take that from him, Action Jackson? Come on, let him have it a little bit.
I just said you obviously picked Saunders to win. If you think Canelo looked like shit tonight, dude.
No, I didn't.
He looked
But
like a
you didn't
dominant,
think he did? He was
dominant,
loading up
scary
and walking
individual.
forward. No combination. You think
You don't have to throw
good?
combinations when the dude
Loading
isn't
up,
fucking trying to
loading up.
fight you.
No combinations. No.
Why would he throw a combination when one single power shot makes the kid run away? I mean, what
Yeah,
didn't you
'cause I
just
don't
see what
think he was
everybody?
putting
That
up
was
the
a
ring.
domination. He went in there and slaughtered him.
Yeah, but Action Jackson, I think there's a little bit in between here. I think Jimmy's right. The guy can get away, and I said this in the beginning of the show. Canelo can get away with fighting the way he does because he hits so hard. But the reason why he doesn't throw that many combinations either is because he's too muscle bound. You saw him huffing and puffing a little bit in the 6th round. I mean, he's just not wired to be throwing combinations. He's not Juan Manuel Marquez or Chocolatito in there. So
But that used to be his game, BDA. Like, that used to be Canelo. Like, he was a beautiful combination puncher. Even in the first Triple G fight, like, he was, like, throwing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4s.
Yes,
like,
but that was
and now
before-
he's just, like...
that was
Before he
before
put
the
30 pounds on his back.
That was
He's
before
bigger
the
now. He's
that was
bigger.
before the clenbuterol,
Exactly,
man.
Gonzalo.
That was before the clenbuterol, and that was before when he, even when he fought Lara, he wasn't throwing combinations because he's fighting a slick southpaw in there. So I get your
That
point.
was all
actually.
natural. How dare you say that? That was all natural 30
I'm
pounds.
saying
He's
there's
still
some
got the
quality.
hand speed of a 154 pounder, which is crazy.
Hold on, Action Jackson,
His
go
hand
ahead.
speed's lightning.
Action Jackson, go ahead. Oh, he dropped out. All right. Listen, fellas, we got a lot of phone calls. Let's just get through them, and then we'll continue talking here. But I want to hear what people have to say.
I thought he said goodbye, BDA. I thought I heard him say goodbye. That's what. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Maybe it was somebody else. That's why I started rambling.
He said fuck off.
Did he? No, All right, 470. You on the 470. You on the air. 470. What's on your mind? Oh boy, he's in a car. 470. Can you hear us, man? We're gonna have to hang up if we can't hear us, man.
Yeah, guys. Yo, I just called. I was just talking to y'all. I didn't hit the button. I was just listening on my phone. But my last call was a politically correct call. This time I'm not gonna be so politically correct. That motherfucker has the testosterone of a bull and a gorilla combined in a human being, man. There is no. You want me to? I'll keep it real. I doubt there's a motherfucking heavyweight that can stand in the ring with Canelo. That dude looks so physically strong. I mean, the previous call is asking about combinations. Why throw a combination when you can slip a punch, load up, and kill a dude? What are you wasting your time throwing combinations for? He knows that these guys can't take his punches. Look at the dude at the weigh-in, ripped, not a shred, not an ounce of body fat. Muscles bulging out of his legs, his abs, his triceps, his biceps. The testosterone. I would love to get a testosterone reading on that dude, man. I'm sure it surpasses even what Prime Mike Tyson had in his body, man. That dude is on another level. You got no chance in the ring with that motherfucker. No chance.
Well,
even some of these heavyweights out there would get knocked the fuck out by Canelo.
Exaggerating. No, but listen. Let me ask you this.
You know, I think the caller is kind of right because Canelo, he really doesn't have to really throw combinations when you're that much stronger. And I think that's what he was trying to say. When you're that much stronger, it's child's play. Like, okay, Billy Joe gave him some problems because he had a little bit of good movement. You know, he timed Canelo well, but none of those punches hurt him. You know, maybe they like got his attention here and there, but nothing to stop him from what he's doing. Okay, and you know he didn't get caught with all of them. I mean, Canelo slipped some of those punches, and he just has to throw one punch at a time.
I'll tell you what, though. My new thing is this, though. I think Triple G still gives a good fight, and the other guy that I think I would rather see him fight is Jermell Charlo, because look, Jermell Charlo hasn't beaten any A-level fighters, but the people that he has beaten lets me know that at this point, okay, he's advanced well enough for it's make break or what did they make or break? Just put him in there with Canelo already. Yeah, make or break. Just put him in there against Canelo.
I think honestly, he could. There's a good chance he can knock those guys out. He can knock those guys out. Look, forget about how he got strong. He's stronger than everybody in that ring. Right now, he hasn't fought Triple G in the third fight, but in the second fight, you can see that he was pretty strong, and he could hold his own against Triple G. So a big difference from the first fight, as in compared to the second fight, which happened a year later, right? So that year, you can see the progress of him getting stronger and stronger to the point he's so strong. He said, with like certainty, he said, "I'm gonna stop Billy Joe Saunders within the 7th or 9th round." Like Jimmy called it. Jimmy called this fight right down the middle. I think Jimmy had the best comment when he said, you know, give Triple G some fucking respect because he beat that guy twice in Jimmy's opinion, in my opinion as well. But I think now the difference of him being that much stronger, that there's a good chance. And he also said that if he fought Triple G again, he would park him, meaning he'll stop him, right? Now, what makes a man talk like that? When you know that you're so physically strong that you doubt there's anybody who can match that. Okay, the difference between Canelo from the Triple G fights, I think, from what I'm seeing, are drastically. It's a drastic difference in strength, and that's why he doesn't throw combinations. He doesn't have to.
Caller, who would you like to see Canelo in there with next? Final question.
It's got to be a guy with the ability to handle his physical strength. So we've seen Beterbiev, maybe Bivol, but Triple G goes back in there with Triple G. I think Triple G was almost dropped in his last fight. That would be homicide against Triple G. If you notice in the first Canelo took some time prior to the first Triple G fight to get himself stronger. He even in the first fight he was backpedaling. In the second fight, after the clenbuterol, he was not backpedaling. He stood right there. But even still, Triple G still arguably won the second fight, draw, whatever. But Triple G, in my view, I've been watching boxing for a while. He was the most physically strongest guy I've ever seen in boxing, and he never tested positive for anything. So I'm gonna let's just say for the sake of argument, he was natural. I've never seen another boxer, pound for pound, as physically strong as Triple G, and Canelo surpassed him. So at this point, anybody within his weight range, you have zero chance to win the fight. So the only way it could be somewhat competitive is the only guy I've seen is the Beterbiev dude at 175.
Yeah, that could be what ends up happening next. Anyway, caller, thank you for your call. Great call. Call back next time, right, man? Catch you on the other side.
All right, guys.
Take it easy, man.
Triple G has adamantium in his bones.
Well, he's from Kazakhstan. Isn't that where Wolverine got his adamantium? Somewhere in the Middle East and in Eastern Europe.
Maybe.
Real quick, 619. You're on the air. 619. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, real quick. Thank you, BDA Bucho, for letting me call into the Best Boxing Show. Gonzalo, hope your son is doing well. Precise, everyone else on the line. Great show today, guys. Hey, I just wanted to call in and talk about the Canelo fight. Look, I think it's pretty impressive what Canelo just did there. I think the thing is, a lot of these fans, they don't understand about. But they have no idea about body punches. They see Mike Tyson, they see George Foreman, they see all these knockouts to the head. When they're watching the fight and the body punches come to the hips, to the elbow, to the ribs, they have no idea how much that hurts. And I can tell you from personal experience, those hurt a lot. And it was only a matter of time. I predicted this, that Billy Joe Saunders was going to eat those body punches. Canelo was going to set him up to the head, and he was catching Billy Joe Saunders. He was figuring out his timing, and I knew that the Canelo detractors were going to say, "Oh, he's getting caught by Billy Joe Saunders," but Billy Joe Saunders was throwing jabs. Canelo was throwing power shots. So you want to trade jabs for power shots to the body, you can do that all day long until you can't. Canelo right now, he's in a league of his own. He's going to go for 4-belt undisputed. He's going to beat Caleb Plant. You can't try to out athletic Canelo. You can't try to out maneuver him or try to be faster on the outside. That doesn't work at this super middleweight division. We're talking about light heavyweight, super middleweight. We're not talking about lightweight, bantamweight. We're talking about big boy territory. Can't do that dancing around stuff. You're eventually going to get caught and timed. And if you don't have the power and you can't take the power, you're not going to last with Canelo. So Canelo's going to become 4-belt undisputed. And maybe he goes after Beterbiev. Maybe he goes after Charlo. It depends. Maybe he goes for Triple G. I think he'll probably go for Murata. I think he'll go make a lot of money in Japan. But Canelo is, man, he made a lot of us really proud today, man. I have to admit, guys, I was a little emotional watching him in the ring.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Post fight with the victory there.
No, you weren't. Come on now. Is
What's
this
that?
bold hype? Is this bold hype, by the way? Is this bold hype? Is this bold hype?
I was, man. I was. This is bold hype. Yes, this is bold hype. Yes.
I figured, man.
Bold hype. Sometimes I can't tell whether you're serious or not.
Yes.
Really,
no, man. Today, no.
Pretty on point.
Today is a great day for boxing, man. I mean, look at the crowd. Jerry Jones, you had Errol Spence, you had Boo Andrade, you had Tyson Fury. It was a great day for boxing in America, and Canelo proved without a doubt he is the face of boxing. No doubt about that, man. And his skills, his power.
Bold hype. People in the chat room. People in the chat room are saying emotional. What the fuck? They think that's a little bizarre for you to get emotional over an event. Not even the boxing fight, just the event overall.
I'm not surprised that the people in the chat say that, but for guys who've been in the ring, like me and Canelo, you know, we share that bond. We've been in the ring. We've held our hands. We've held our hands in victory. We know the work that it takes.
Hard work.
So I share that with Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, man. This guy is a boxing genius, man. He did exactly what he was going to do. He did exactly what I predicted him to do. I thought it would be a 9th round knockout. It was an 8th round. We didn't get quite to the 9th round. But, I mean, what more can we say? Why are these guys out here hating on Canelo? Why are they already saying, go fight Bivol, go fight Beterbiev, go fight Joe Joyce? Why are they saying all this? Why are they already hating on him, dude? I don't understand that.
Yeah, man. Listen, bold hype.
Can you guys explain it to me? Are there any haters on the panel here? Is anyone saying this is not a legit victory? Love to hear from them.
Go ahead, Rick.
What if he fights Caleb Plant next, knocks him out? What should he do? Should he stay at 168, or should he move on to better things?
You know, it's not really for me to decide. It's not really for any of us to decide. At that point, he owns boxing. He can do whatever he wants. He can make his own division. He could say he retires. There's really nothing more for him to prove. I mean, I would like him to fight. I would like him to be. Here's what I would like. Okay, undisputed 168 and unified at 160 at the same time. This is possible, guys. He can be undisputed at 168, 4 belts, 168, and unified at 160. All he has to do, because he already has the franchise belt at 160, all he has to do is beat 1 or 2 guys down at 160, and he could be undisputed at 168 and unified at the same damn time. What do you guys think about that?
I think it'd be a mistake.
I think you need
to move back down to 160.
Listen, Bold Hype, I think there's an AA meeting somewhere around your area right now. There must be. But no, look, listen, I'm being facetious here, but I'm kidding around. But look, listen, I will agree with you.
Come on, man. Don't be ashamed to wave the Mexican flag tonight, man. Come on.
What do you? I got my Mexican flag underwear on right now. I'm not ashamed, but let me tell you, I will agree with you on the fact that it was good to see the crowd. It was good. It was good to see the crowd back, man. 70,000 people having a good time, saying "fuck the agenda."
I saw that. I was like amazed to see Because that's like,
Dude, that was as
normal.
loud as it
That was
gets.
just
I mean, that
back
is
to
like
normal.
that's just like a touchdown. That is loud as it gets. I mean, and this is boxing. I mean, the show that DAZN put on, and that pre ring walk the video that they put on with Canelo, the mariachi band, everything like that. Man, this is unbelievable, guys. We should be celebrating tonight, not hating on Canelo. All you guys who are hating on Canelo, what's wrong with you guys?
I know.
Well,
what's wrong?
listen, people can
I'm
hate
terrible
on
guy.
whoever they want. Anyway,
I'm
listen,
sorry, Ball
Ball Hype, great call. You're on your way to becoming caller of the year. I'm not kidding, man. I mean, unless Kevin from Chicago can step it up because he's been lackluster a little bit. I think you got the caller of the year all around your finger, man. So anyway,
Thank
listen.
you, guys.
No, thank you, man. Ball Hype, thank you for your call.
Have a good night.
You too, man. Catch you in the next one. By the way, okay, please do not donate via the super chat. If you got a little bit of money, we appreciate the super chats, but if you got money, please donate it to Gonzalo's GoFundMe page. It's right up there. It's linked in the top of the description. By the way, we're getting close to the to the mark that we set up. And Mark, speaking of Mark, he will be donating what he did for the 6-day 6-day stream he did. So that should put us in the stratosphere, I believe, if not reach the goal. So shout out to Mark and shout out to everybody for donating, man. Real appreciate it. Real quick, so
yeah, thanks. I'm in the hospital right now. They're taking the tube out tomorrow, but they want to put a little bit of blood in him before they take the tube out.
That's
hey,
great,
I
man.
want to say something real quick. You know that wearing the Mexican flag on your underwear is illegal.
I know. I
to
was
other
kidding.
countries.
Gonzalo, I was kidding.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You can get sanctioned by the Mexican government. There's
No, he wasn't
implications.
kidding.
Yeah, because wasn't there a soccer player that did that, something like that? Well, not a soccer. I think it was. I forget who it was that said that he had a Mexican. And I think they investigated him actually for that. But listen, I'm over here in the northern stratosphere on an iceberg in Canada. What are they gonna do to me? No, but
one day a Mexican girl left her panties in my apartment. This is when I was single. Now,
the fuck
can I
does
get in
that
trouble
have
for that? No, I'm just saying, can I get in trouble for that? I just
Well,
wanna
did
know.
you spray paint the
Just
Mexican
as long
flag?
as you
on it?
didn't jerk off in the same room because she would have got pregnant.
No, Jesus.
Yeah, the United States is very liberal with that. You can rock the.
Yeah, no,
American
I
flag
respect the
in
Mexican
underwear.
government for that. Good for them.
That's
Fucking
right.
pride in your goddamn country.
Not like you Americans, you bunch of Dionysians over there.
disgusting.
Real quick,
Exactly,
shout out
BDA.
to Sonora, Mexico for his contribution. He says Reynoso said they're going for the Viterbiev fight after Plant. Man, skip Plant, man. We already know what's going to happen there. You don't need a crystal ball to. You don't need Jimmy's eyes to tell you what's going to happen.
He wants that. He wants to be undisputed. You know.
For what? I mean, I get what you're saying.
listen,
Canelo, BDA, in the long scheme of things, right? When you're retired, when you're 50 years old, that's a huge accomplishment.
No, it's not.
That's why so few people do it. Yeah, it is, bro. I mean, you look at this. Well, if you're a student, of the the game like you are, dude. You put your name up with. You go through past, dude. It's only a handful of guys who've ever done that.
Jimmy, he's got the mestizo. He's got the mestizo belt. He's got the mestizo belt. He doesn't need another belt.
Yeah, that's true. He
real
does
quick.
got the mestizo belt.
Even though, as I say that, it's not like fucking Al Heyman's going to make that fight. The only reason why he would be the money. That's
I don't think he qualifies. I don't think he qualifies as a mestizo, but.
Hey, real quick. 47. We got to go to another phone call here, real quick. 470. You on the air? 470. What's on your mind?
470.
470. Going once because we got a lot to get to. Going twice. All right. Yeah, he hung up.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Let's go to the wild card. 111. You're on the air. 111. What's on your mind?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
111. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
Triple G.
All right.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, man. Can you speak up? Speak up, please. Because I'm
a
having
little bass in your voice, brother.
Talk like a man.
No. Speak normally, but
terrible.
speak normally, but speak up, man. Please go ahead.
All right. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. All right, cool. So I was thinking, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of him fighting these UK hype jobs.
Nice. I like this guy.
Yeah, so
there you go.
I like this.
There you go.
So
I wish you would have called a little earlier.
Is Stewie there?
Stu? No, Stu's gone.
So you know Stu. Okay.
I like Stewie, but I'm sorry. I'm just not impressed by these UK fighters. But if if Canelo to me, he'll be pound for pound if he beats either Benavidez, Charlo, or Caleb Plant. Those to me, those are the guys at 168 or 160.
All right, Carla, can I ask you something? So, do you consider Errol Spence a good fighter? And would he be pound for pound? Does he have to go up to like 168? I mean, so you're basically saying he has to go to division he has no business being in, so he has a chance to lose before he's pound for pound. I just want to know, do you put that same standard on every boxer, or just guys you don't like?
Man, Jimmy's on the warpath today, man.
Jimmy's on fire today.
Yeah, Jimmy's on the warpath. Go ahead, caller.
I like Jimmy, and I like you too, caller. But you gotta come back.
I mentioned Benavidez. I'm pretty sure he fights at 168.
Yeah, he does. He does fight at 168.
So does Caleb Plant.
For how long though?
So I don't know Jimmy. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyways. So Charlo, Benavidez, Plant. He beats those three guys. All right, then I'll give him props, but I'm sorry, I'm just not impressed.
You got to give him props for beating Charlo, but not Saunders, because Charlo's done so much more than Saunders.
Yeah, you come on, use the eye test. You are more impressed with BJ Saunders than Charlo. Are you going to tell me that?
What has Charlo done? What not the junior Charlo? 154 is impressive. He does what it has to take. The older one, what has he done? He's about to fight a guy who just got knocked out by. He's about to fight a dude who just got knocked out by the Mexican kid there. Yeah.
Okay, but
the guy that he knocked out.
Let's look at the fight before that.
Really,
Jimmy. Let's look at the fight before that. Derevchenko. You saw what Derevchenko did to Triple G.
What did he do?
And you saw what Charlo did to him. So you tell me that Charlo can't give Canelo a good fight?
If Charlo did that before Triple G, it'd be one thing, but Derevchenko took a lot of damage. Didn't you see tonight that a guy walked through him, but Triple G actually hurt him? Triple G is the only person who's beat this dude, physically beat him. So there's a big difference. So yes, Derevchenko took a lot of damage in that fight against Triple G.
Okay, so even if he walks through Charlo, can we see it? Like, it's not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah, I'm what you call but it's not going to happen.
No more.
I would like to see it, but the PBC doesn't fight outside their fucking promotional company. So it's like asking him to. I'd like to see him go win the NBA title. It's just not going to happen. That's a whole different league. The PBC's onto themselves. They do not fight out of that promotion. It doesn't happen. They can call people out, but in their contract, they're not even allowed to talk to another fighter's management unless they have the okay from Al Heyman. He's the one who says who they fight. And right now, he's closed the books. Nobody's fighting outside the promotional company.
Well, in my opinion, the only two guys that can have a realistic chance of beating Canelo are David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo. The rest of them, no. They're not going to give him a test.
Well, listen, I'd like to see I'd like to see the Charlo fight, man, because I mean, at least he's got some firepower. But again, I can already see it now. If he loses to Canelo, then people are going to say, "Well, who did Charlo beat?" And again, it's going to be the circular.
I won't say that.
Right,
I wouldn't say that. If that's impressive, you're not. I've never seen anybody walk through Charlo. I'm not saying he's fought a guy like Canelo before, but if he can walk through Charlo, then you can walk through anybody. In my opinion.
Well, how do you see that fight happen? Who do you see winning, Canelo or Charlo?
If Canelo were to win, I believe it'd be like a war. It'll be a 12-round decision, but he's not gonna just bully Jamal Charlo. That's not gonna happen. I can promise you that.
I'd like to see
Charlo's a big boy.
Nah, because 68th round, 68 ranked guys, man, they're brutal to take out. I mean, he fights bums, no hopers. If he fought maybe one decent guy who hasn't been at the tail end of their career, Derevchenko, I mean, I would agree with he's got hand speed, some decent talent, but in his own brother fucking dogging him on Instagram about ducking Canelo. You got to figure, why is that? Why doesn't he ever fight anybody good? I just got to question that.
Yeah, younger Charlo is definitely more of a dog than Big Charlo, but some people are saying he should fight Better Beater. That's a terrible fight. Better Beater, he's made for Canelo. He's too slow.
You said you wanted to see that fight, though. You said you wanted to see that fight, didn't you?
Did he?
Better Beater? No, Better Beater, the Russian guy.
Okay, you want Bivol. You want Bivol.
I thought that's who he was saying earlier. So didn't you recognize, right? You thought he was saying Better Beater earlier?
I thought he was talking about Benavidez.
No, I'm saying Benavidez.
Yeah,
no, I thought he said better be of.
I thought you
earlier.
said.
I thought you were talking about the
I thought you
Russian.
said I was a right spider. But anyway, listen, caller. Thank you for your call. Good call, man. We'll catch you in the next one, all right, man? We gotta move on.
Okay.
Take it easy, man. Have a good night. Yeah, I'd like to see him against Charlo too, man. Why not? Real quick, let's go to another phone call. 312, you're on the air. 312, what's on your mind?
Hello?
312, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes,
hello. Hey, what's up? It's Reyes Box. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. How you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, man? No, man, good fight. Good fight. I hope we can get the plant unification. Then we can hopefully after that Canelo can go ahead and defend his titles with I want to see the Benavidez fight. I think that's the fight to make. Hopefully this year, this whole COVID thing is done. So tired of this. So tonight was a very good night for boxing. I'm glad everybody did just for that.
Mm-hmm. Now,
we got rid of Trump.
But yeah, and as far I think the Charlo fight, I want to see that fight too. But I think Canelo's reflexes are just too fast for Charlo. Yeah, Charlo got power, but I think Canelo just operates at a much skillful level as far as his reflexes, the defense. I think he'll be able to parry Charlo's jab easily, man, to be honest. I don't even think... Trust me, I want that fight more than anything, but I think the real fight is the Benavidez fight. I think Canelo should do that now in his prime. What's Canelo, 31 or 30? Benavidez like 24, 25, so it's a good mix in my opinion. And then after that, I guess, we'll see. But yeah, hopefully we can get the Plant fight in September.
Well, listen, I don't want to see the Plant fight. I think Plant's face falls apart. Like, there was a caller who said something earlier. He said, look, if you give Canelo momentum, that's what he wants. He needs to fight somebody that's going to make him think in there with the punching power. And I think Billy Joe Saunders hit hard enough to give him a little bit of respect. But at some point, it was just Canelo was in no danger of being knocked out. So, caller, wouldn't you rather see Canelo bypass, what's his name, Plant, and just go straight to Benavidez, or even at least fight Charlo or something?
I mean, I think Canelo's put in the work, man. I mean, if he wants to, unify all the belts at 168, and we've talked about this, or you've said it. One of you guys said it, that the belts don't really mean. I mean, when you're Canelo's level, man, you really don't need the belt. But I mean, if that's what he wants to do, he put all the work, then I think he deserves it. I mean, if it's September, it's another 3 months away. Why not? It's only 3 months away.
I think he wants that. He wants that in his resume.
If Canelo puts one in December.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm sorry, December. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know if Plant could. I don't even think Plant could take Canelo's power, man. But hey, man, I think it's good for boxing. I hope you do another show, and then we can discuss the pound for pound list again. I think that's another good talk at this point because, man, I haven't even kept up with the pound for pound. Like Lomachenko, Inoue, some other fighters I love. But man, it's like all these guys under Canelo right now got to step it up, man, if they want to, stay in the, I guess whatever order, man. That's what I'm saying. I guess when you do another debate, man, talk about the pound for pound list, man, because I think the only guy right now in momentum that's really pushing the scene is Canelo. Oh yeah, and I want to see Triple G back in action too, man. I just don't want him to wait until December, man. It's just obnoxious in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, man. He thinks he's the Matrix or something. He makes people wait, 13 years between his fights. But listen, caller, good call. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I agree with you, man. Canelo can go 12 rounds rather easily. He can go 12, man. So I think he was just playing with Saunders a bit in the first half. I don't know about playing, but just taking his time, man. I mean, you can kind of tell when Canelo presses the gas. In the second half, so
he knew he was gonna stop that dude. He knew he was gonna stop him. He knew going into the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think any of us could just see it, feel it. He was just, he was in his groove as usual.
Look, he said it before the fight.
And then I don't know who else. Yeah.
And he said it after.
But it was a good night for
fight.
boxing, man.
That was just a matter
I'm so
of time.
happy we got this scene. I mean, we got this event, 70,000, right, in Texas. So, good night for boxing, man. Just looking forward to your next.
A little bizarre that there was no knockdowns all the stoppages out of the 4 fights, they ended a little weird.
Yeah,
the co-main and the Augie, the Frank Sanchez one.
But dude, didn't you guys think it was weird? Like, look, bro, Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, he's kind of like a punk, but he gets clipped in the eye, and I don't know I don't know how they confirmed that he broke his orbital bone. Maybe they could just tell, but he just, I was like, is this dude gonna quit? And I'm watching it like, oh shit, he quit. He just said, fuck it, nah, I'm not doing this, and.
I think some of you guys probably saw he took some hard shots to the body too, man. He was having poker face before that.
He did, and I think you know what I think.
You recognize you're right. I'm just assuming he broke his auricle bone. I want to say that I never heard anything confirmation. I'm assuming, I'm only assuming that because he started bleeding right away. Oh, he said it.
Jimmy Canelo said, "Once I broke his eye, once I broke his eye, I knew that."
Maybe because he's going off the same thing I am, dude. You know what I mean? Like what you know to do when you're in there. There's certain tells when an eye fills with blood right away before it swells. That's because it's bleeding. You severed the auricle crack because your body produces blood is actually made in the bone throughout your bones. And when you crack an auricle bone, sometimes you can sever one of the veins in there. You're right. So that's why I assumed he broke his auricle bone.
All right, listen, caller. Thank you for your call. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, man. Take it easy.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you. You too, man. All right.
Right now, I favor Canelo against anybody from 160 to 175.
I agree.
Maybe except Beterbiev. That's it. I wouldn't.
Let me add something to that because I haven't had time to really weigh in. We haven't had time to weigh in. We had a lot of phone calls, but when it comes to the Billy Joe Saunders fight, I was actually surprised at how quickly Canelo established the rhythm in the first 4 rounds. I was thinking, whoa, this is going to be a short night, man. I wasn't expecting this. Then Billy Joe sort of started making a bit of a comeback, and actually, I think what happened was, like we talked about before the fight, Canelo was going to counter. He was going to put pressure, but make Billy Joe Saunders engage first so he could counter off of that. But then once Canelo started getting a little bit overconfident, he started going for the kill a little bit more, and that's when Billy Joe Saunders started making a miss, and that's when Billy Joe started taking the momentum a little bit to his side. But then he just fell apart. But I was surprised Chris Mannix had Billy Joe Saunders up by 1 round at some point.
He's a jackass, Chris Mannix.
Well, I think what they were trying to establish. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just agree with Froch. I didn't mean to cut you off. BDA, continue.
No, you cut off Recognize.
I thought I cut you. No, I talked before Recognize. I cut you off and you cut me off.
You got to apologize.
He had him up by 2 rounds. 2 or 3 rounds. 68 was 65?
No, he had it. No. You see, they're so stupid, Gonzalo. These people are dumb. They don't realize that they forgot to score the 8th round. Go listen to their scorecard. No. I swear to God, go listen to the scorecard. Chris Mannix says I have him up 4 rounds to 3. I'm like, what do you mean? You didn't count the 8th? The 8th round happened. The whole round happened. You dummy! Like, did you forget to count that part? Yeah, he did. He forgot. The other guy, the British guy didn't forget. He had it 5-3. Canelo, which probably is the more right scorecard, right? Like 5-3, some shit like that. You can't give. At least not in my opinion. You can't give Billy Joe Saunders a 5-3 lead. No fucking way.
No way.
This moron forgot to score the 8th round. Chris Mannix.
Chris Mannix makes his bones off his father, dude. Kevin Mannix was an unbelievable writer.
Oh, he was. That makes sense then. Because I didn't know who Chris Mannix was. Now that you're telling me his father was a famous writer.
Kevin Mannix, a very well-known writer for years in sports, boxing and football.
You know what I think they were trying to do? They were trying to play the look at us. Look, the British guy has Canelo winning, and I'm the American guy, and I have excuse me, damn.
Jeez, what the fuck?
That shit was good. I have
that shit sounds like COVID to me.
No, I'm good.
Hey, Recognize, go get the vaccine, and when you're okay, you can come back. But what was I gonna say? I think that you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they get behind the scenes in the production meetings and go, listen, Carl, you're gonna favor a little bit more the American guy. Well, not the American guy, but essentially the local guy, which is Canelo. and the American. Listen, I hate to criticize people because we all get it wrong every once in a while. But when Chris Mannix was calling the Joseph Parker versus Arreola fight, the first one, and he dropped Luis. I'm sorry, the Anthony Joshua versus Luis fight, the first one. He dropped Luis, and then Chris Mannix goes, "Joshua is a competent and ferocious finisher. Watch this." I'm thinking, why are you already calling it? Like, right, it seems like they were trying to push Joshua and the way the fight was going way too hard. It's not even over yet, and you're already saying that he's gonna finish him. He just it was egg on his face, man. So yeah, Chris Mannix is a little bit. I'm not a big fan of his, but
no, I'm not either.
Yeah.
What about Kevin Smith, the kid from California, who gets paid to give his opinion? I mean, he's on Cyrus Radio, Dave Smith rather. I mean, he's supposed to be like this boxing guy. He had Saunders. He picked Saunders to win. And I'm like, how the fuck is I mean, you get paid for your opinion, dude? You really think that was the way it was going to go? And I just went to his Twitter feed before I called the show. It's pretty fun. But anyways, it blows my mind.
But now
they love to bully Sergio Moro, the Snake.
Yeah, they because they know he doesn't punch hard, so they think they can bully him. But I listen, fellas, I was surprised at how everybody was always talking about. Well, not everybody, but I'm saying that a lot of the people that thought this was going to be easy work for Canelo were saying, because Canelo has improved, he knows how to deal with movers now. But look, a mover is a mover. If he gives you trouble once, you can improve against them, but it's still going to be a difficult style for anybody. And you could see that Canelo, there were certain points where he was just trying to bust through Billy Joe Saunders' body, and it made sense. Obviously, he can get away with it because he's such a powerful puncher. But there were also instances where he was starting to flail against the wind. What do you guys think?
I can tell you what happened there, BDA. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. Well, I was going to say my theory on that. The reason why he abandoned the body attack kind of around the 5th round, he kind of went away from it. What happened? By then, he had him figured out. He had his rhythm figured out. The reason why you started seeing those big flailing shots, because in his mind, I got this fucker. I got his timing. I know what he's doing. I know which way he's biting on the feints. Now it's time to implement the fucking big head shots. And it took 3 rounds to land one, and he knew that's all it was going to take. And when he landed it, game over.
I was going to say, great points. Also, that it was easy in the sense that he got the stoppage. Billy Joe Saunders was undefeated, so all the other opponents that Billy Joe Saunders had faced never got close. So it was never easy for those guys. So it was easy in the sense that Canelo did it because he got the knockout, but it's never going to be easy. Never going to be easy, but he got the knockout. So you're going to have to walk through fire to do that. And he got hit back. So at certain points, you cannot have to where you're dominating the whole fight. Well, you can, but what I'm trying to say, you got to entice the other fighter to believe that, if he wants to fight you, to remain in there so you can hit him back, So, because if Billy Joe Saunders don't do that, and he just gets on the back foot, makes it into a boring fight, yes, he might make it to the 12th round, but he was never going to be in the fight. So, yeah, he stood his ground a little bit. Yeah, he tried to fight back, but he got knocked out.
You know when I noticed? Hey, Gonzalo, you want to know when I noticed that Billy Joe Saunders was about to get stopped? Because I picked it to go the distance. When I started noticing, he started hugging. Like, even when he was winning rounds, when he started hugging, even in the exchange where he got the better, Canelo was about to let off, he grabbed him and held him. I was like, okay, what's going to happen once you start getting past 9? You think that's going to work? Because I know for one thing for sure, Canelo's not going to fade. Right? He's not going to fade in those parts of the round. He might be a little bit tired, but not going to fade, and he's going to start going to your body, and you're not going to have enough energy to be grabbing like that. So, maybe when he got hit in the eye, and if he broke his orbital bone, and he just said, "Fuck it, I feel it right away." That kind of that instant pain, you can't ignore it. That type of pain. Maybe that's what happened there, or he said, "Oh shit, he just fucked up my eye. I'm not dealing with this shit going to, keep going."
Remember when Perro Angulo, Alfredo el Perro Angulo, he fought at Islandi Lara. At Islandi Lara, I thought he was winning Angulo, but all of a sudden he broke his orbital bone. He caught a hematoma. Then Angulo quit, and he was winning that. He certainly looked like he was on his way to winning.
He dropped Lara, right? He dropped Lara in that
twice.
fight.
Yeah,
he dropped
twice. That's right, twice. Yep.
Hey, Gonzalo,
The only guy that I seen come back in recent history is was Inoue. He wasn't able to withstand that. That's crazy. Everybody else, they get that orbital bone fracture, they quit.
Yeah, they quit.
Well, it's a fucking painful injury. Not only
because
does
it's
it impede you from seeing.
it's an instant pain. I remember watching a girl get jumped by a bunch of other girls at a club. No, I swear to God, and they broke her orbital. The scream that she made, man, because she's a girl, obviously, right?
Right.
So she was fucking screaming her fucking head off for it.
Jeez.
And you know what? You know what? Let me just describe a picture. When you break your orbital, I never had one broken, but you must feel that the eye is coming out of your face.
Yes,
because
it
the
has to
bone
be
is not
something like
holding
that.
it in place.
If you know what it feels like, Gonzalo, I've been told by a couple people who had done it, feels like somebody's pulling on your eye. You feel like it's somebody's like picture somebody like inside, like pulling pressure on your eyeball, like you want to turn it, and what doesn't really want to turn one way. You know what I mean? It doesn't react sometimes, depending whether if the bone's broken and it's pushing on nerves. Those nerves can, you know what I mean? So yeah, so it's like, you know what I mean? It's almost like a toothache in your eye. So it's a real weird feeling. It scares some dudes. So I don't blame. You know what? I kind of think it's a punkish thing because so many greats before him didn't quit with a broken bone. But at the same token, he had no chance. He didn't have the power. So he did the right thing. Medically, he did the right thing. Because after that, it was just going to be, he's not going to see out of that eye because it's pooling with blood behind
That's what
it.
I thought,
So he's
Jimmy.
got no
Yeah.
vision. So it was just, okay, do I go out there now and let this dude knock me out in front of all these people? Or do I just quit and take the fucking shit on Twitter? You know what I mean?
You know what the other thing? You know what the other thing was? Billy Joe Saunders also, when he got caught in that last round and his eye started swelling, there was a microsecond where he switched to righty, and then immediately he went back to lefty. But you could tell he was thinking, "Oh shit, what do I do? Like, let me try. Like, I can't see out of the eye." That's what he was going through.
Because he's fucking hesitant. Yeah. That's when you get hurt. When you get hurt in a fight, or however way you get hurt when you're getting jumped. One of your immediate reaction is your body. You feel lost, and for that quick second, I saw that he's like, "Yo, this dude is lost, man."
Well, it's a trauma, right? It's not a
it's a trauma.
These guys are used to taking punches and all that, but that type of pain is something that not everybody.
See, you're in the fight when you get hit and you get hurt, but you have immediate attention, so you're not out of it. When you get hurt and your body starts getting confused, you're like almost like in retreat mode. You don't know what to do. It's pretty much you're in a bad spot and it could be over right there. The fight could be over.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah, man. Hey, by the way, let's go to Funko real quick here. Let's go to 419. You're on the air. 419. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, BDA?
Oh, Tito.
Oh, it's Tito. My
How
boy,
you doing, man?
Tito. What a great time, Tito.
Hey, I can't recognize your prediction came true. You're right. The good times are rolling. hey, but that was a good fight, man. Hey, Billy Joe was fighting, but hey, man, you know, like some of the callers calling in and just putting down. Hey, man, we're watching some great boxing, man. We're watching a hell of a run, man. You know, and it was like poetic justice what happened to Billy Joe, because you know, all the disrespecting he was due, and he went out on the stool, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, man, right when that punch happened, when Canelo uppercutted him, man, he was throwing it, and he was missing it a lot at the beginning. But, man, he landed it. And right when he landed it, you could tell by the way Canelo reacted and how Billy Joe acted. He was hurt. You know, not dizzy hurt, but he was hurt.
Tito.
So, you know,
Tito. You know who predicted he was going to lose? You know who predicted Billy Joe Saunders was going to lose?
Who?
Me?
Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders. And when the fights were first signed, he said he was going to lose this fight.
Yeah, but then what did he...
Come on, recognize, man.
Recognize.
Man, even Tyson Fury said he had a vision that Billy Joe Saunders was going to knock. Man, Billy Joe thought he said he was going to shock the world tonight.
I'm just
recognize
telling you.
Recognize his trolling. Recognize his trolling Tito, man.
In the first, when he first
now, come on now.
found out he was going to get the fight, he felt that he was going to lose.
The Canelo Blues can make you say some strange things, so go ahead, recognize.
Hey, we need a T-Tone versus recognizing the Kumite now, man. That's what we need to see.
I'm gonna battle you,
hey,
T-Tone. We're gonna talk about some good old times, some good old
Canelo fake KOs.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that would be a good subject, man, Tito. I mean,
Let's do it, Tito.
Now look
I'll
at,
make it
now
easy.
look at recognize. Now come on, now, hey man. Now look at, we're about 70% of the way through, and man, look at, nobody's talking about Canelo. How Canelo's feints, man. He had Billy Joe. He had him, shaking like a stripper. He had him moving all over the place. Canelo's got the in-your-face defense, man. We're watching stuff that you only see when Canelo fights. And, man, when Canelo hits you, man, Canelo hits you. Enjoy it, man.
Fanboy alert.
A lot of people calling and putting it down. Man, enjoy this run. We're watching a hell of a run, man. And if Canelo goes to 175 and cleans that out, this might be one of the greatest runs ever. So let's see. We're going to see what happens, right? So let's just enjoy it.
I had a vision that Canelo died. Anyway, let's talk about something else.
I can't give us some rovers. Yeah, there you go. Hey, I can't. There's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of talk going. But yeah, man. But those other guys calling in and putting down the fight and things. Hey, man, it was a show. Canelo's putting on a show, so I'm enjoying it. So, and I know a lot of other people are. But yeah, there's a lot of people that hate. But and yeah, B-Day, I wanted to tell you this. You say, hey, Canelo don't need that belt. Just go to do something else. No, man, Plant's got that belt. And man, undisputed is something special, man. When it's all said and done, Canelo about to sit back and go, I was undisputed. Man, Plant better make that fight. And if he don't fight, I consider Canelo undisputed if Plant ducks his fight. But, man, I hope he shows some guts, man, and maybe he can take it all from Canelo. Canelo's collecting all the belts, and he could win it on one fight.
T-Tone, when I saw Billy Joe Saunders
you think he quit?
Yeah, he quit.
I think Canelo made him quit.
Well, of course. Punched him in his eye. He broke it. He broke his eye socket, and he quit.
Yeah, Canelo made him quit.
I thought of you celebrating somewhere.
Well, listen, bottom line is...
About you. I was like, somewhere right now, T-Tone is dancing.
I can't. Come on, man. I can't.
Bottom line, we need to see...
But you guys have a good show, and let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Hey, have a good show, man.
You too, man.
Take it easy. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take it easy, man. Thank you for calling in. Yeah, I should have played Let the Good Times Roll by Harry Nilsson. But look, listen.
T-Tone is one of the best callers, man. One of the best callers.
And so far, one of the best debaters, too, man. Because he came out of nowhere and started piling up wins, man.
I think, listen, D. Jefferson just got too cocky. And, T-Tone came with the spirit.
Hey, BDA, can you do a T-Tone impression?
What you saying, Gonzalo? Why you want me to do the T-Tone? It's T-Tone. Let the good times roll. But hey, listen, Gonzalo, I gotta give you credit, man, because Jimmy was giving himself some praise, but you also you picked the Canelo by stoppage, and you said broken shoulders. Now he didn't break his shoulders, but he certainly tried to, and he ended up breaking his eye. So good calls here on this show. Good predictions. Now, here's my thing. Fucking
Billy what, Gonzalo?
But can I say something real quick? But Billy Joe Saunders' jab was causing Canelo some problems, and when he hit him, it did seem to snap his head back, but it wasn't as effective as I expected it to be. I thought he was gonna try to at least stick it to the body a little bit more, but man, let me tell you something. The problem with Canelo is his defense is good. We all know his upper body movement is good, but the best defense sometimes is the best offense. And what Canelo does too is he counters so quickly and so hard to the body. These guys just don't want to let their hands go anymore, and that's what happened with Billy Joe Saunders. He got his weapons taken away from him as well. So, I mean, I think Benavidez, he's going to have to be careful too, because he's got a big torso there. It's a big target for Canelo. And Caleb
Plant... Let me ask you something, BDA.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, BDA. Who would you take? A guy with above average strength, right? In terms of his peers. So, his strength is above average. It's pretty up there, right? With decent boxing skills, right? average to a little bit over average boxing skills versus a guy who has above average boxing skills, limited strength, below average strength. Who would you take in that situation?
Well, let me tell you, man. If the guy's ultimately very strong, but he's got mediocre skills, is that what you said? Mediocre or
about average to a little bit above average.
Well, seeing as how I'm a master boxer, I would have to fight the strong guy who can't really box all that well.
Well, what I'm saying is Canelo has above average skills, right? It's not the best ever. It's not the best ever, but strength wise, is his. Him moving up in weight has been his key to success. This dominant success is that his strength is, I think, well above average, to the point where he's stronger than these guys that are naturally bigger than him. And that's the key. That's the key to his victory. That's why he stays in that pocket and doesn't lose focus because he just knows he's much stronger than these guys.
Billy Joe Saunders' back looked very wide, wider than Canelo's, in fact. And, Canelo sometimes, because he likes to crouch down and all that, he looks small in there, but he was like small in the sense that compared to Billy Joe Saunders, like you said, Billy Joe Saunders is naturally bigger. The bones and everything. He just looks, his frame looks like a super middleweight, but fucking Canelo's a ball of muscle in there. And like you said,
Canelo's a bodybuilder. He's
exactly,
a bodybuilder.
Yeah. He's a bodybuilder that can punch.
He's a boxer.
Yep. Exactly. He's a bodybuilder. Yeah. So yeah, it's listen. I don't know what you guys think, but if he fights Caleb Plant, I'm gonna be somewhat interested because Caleb Plant is fast and he could make it interesting. But I think, listen, you don't need a crystal ball to know what's gonna happen in that one, right, fellas? I mean, Caleb Plant's face is not gonna hold up, and he's gonna be eating body shots. So. I mean, did you see when he tried to stop Caleb Truax? Caleb fucking Truax, look, no disrespect to Caleb Truax, but even he has to admit that at close to 40 years old, and he was never really a special fighter, and Caleb Plant tried to stop him. It looked like a kid pity-patting against a punching bag. It's just, this guy ain't beating Canelo, man. He can make him look bad maybe, like Billy Joe Saunders did for a couple of rounds, but ultimately I think he's either getting stopped or he's just going to go on the... what do you guys think? Caleb Plant versus...
Yeah, if he tries to throw those punches... those pity pats, he's just going to remain there where he's going to get countered. Because he's not throwing anything with power, right?
Exactly. Well, I mean, he's got a good jab, but he's. I can't.
He wouldn't even try that. He wouldn't even try unleashing those barrage of punches without trying to circumnavigate around the ring. He wouldn't sit there and try to do that. Where he said, "I'm going to take Canelo out like he did Truex." He wouldn't dare to do that.
And on top of that, Caleb Plant's rhythm is essentially the same as Canelo's, except, okay, he's a longer fighter and he moves more, but it's going to be the same rhythm. Canelo's not going to have to worry about, 100 punches coming at him. Now, in a way that could be more dangerous because he's going to have to make the fight happen, but we saw what he did against Billy Joe Saunders today. He made the fight happen against a guy who is not exactly a volume puncher himself. So, look, I'm not saying it's a done deal, but I'm not all that interested in the Canelo-Caleb Plant, man. Bypass that fight.
I think that here's the problem. I mean, how much money would you have to pay Caleb Plant, right, to have him come to the zone? Because I don't really think Canelo's going to do the whole, anything's possible, I guess. But why would he want to leave the zone and all that to just like have a fight with Caleb Plant on the PBC? I don't see him doing that. They're just going to have to pay this kid a lot of money, which is probably what the PBC, Al Heyman, is looking for, right? They're probably looking for that, a big payout to send their boy over there to basically lose.
Now,
well, one thing for sure. Yeah, go ahead, Vidi.
No, go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
The date of September the 16th, Independence Day weekend, like we know May the 5th in September, he's going to keep that date. He's going to fight somebody. But if the PBC if they want to play their shenanigans and don't get it where they're making the fight, he's gonna fight somebody else. That's what I'm interested to see who that guy's gonna be, because they're not gonna stick around for the negotiations like Crawford and Spence. If they don't work out, hey, they're gonna move on. But I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn's gonna offer a lucrative deal see if they'll sign.
Yeah, it's possible that
Yeah.
Canelo's look. The event seemed, at least on the surface, seemed to roll off pretty smoothly. So maybe Canelo's happy with, because you gotta know that Eddie Hearn's been trying to. He's like the guy who's going out with the hot chick, and he's trying to pull out all the moves to see if he can fucking get her at least a tug job or something. But in the night, that's what Eddie Hearn was doing with Canelo. Canelo's the bell of the ball. He wants that fucking Canelo dick in his stable, and so he probably gave him whatever he wanted for these fights. Like, look, if you come with me,
Canelo
this is
beef.
what you're gonna. What's that?
Canelo beef.
He's yeah, Mexican beef. But yeah, man, look, listen, I don't know. I sincerely doubt Canelo. Jimmy, if you're there, what do you think? Could Al Heyman even muster the finances required to keep a Canelo in his stable? I mean,
God no, God no, there's no money. Where's Fox? It was over a month ago. Spencer's, when's Fox going to announce their thing? And then actually, I got to give him credit. Woodsy's the only one been writing about it. He's been hearing more and more that the Fox deal. I guess the Fox deal was 4 years. I heard it was 3. The reason why I heard it was 3 because I guess Fox wants to not only not resign, wants to end it early, which is a good sign. And they haven't announced anything. But no, there's no money there, so he needs. Yeah, like he needs that could be the only reason why he would make that the fight is because of the cash influx into the PBC because it would be across promotions. Now, picture. I mean, there are 73,000 people there tonight for Canelo. Remember, there was even talk at one point that Spence was becoming the face of boxing, right? He did 16,000 in the same stadium. Canelo did 73,000. But anyways, there's that would be the only way. There's no chance Canelo would sign with the PBC. No fucking way. Because he would never allow anybody. Now, pitch him sitting with Heyman. Okay, you can't talk to anybody unless you go through me. You saw how he treated with fucking. Could you think he'd deal with that? No way.
Yo, I heard some people saying that Tank Davis is one of the major faces of boxing. I said, well, maybe one of the major criminal faces, but I mean, he's certainly not a mainstream guy.
He's in Baltimore's Most Wanted.
Dude, he actually in that fucking accident. I read about that recently because I didn't know much about it. Dude, one person was in serious condition. He was put down. He was in intensive care for 24 hours. An 18-year-old kid he hit. I mean, he jumped out. Witnesses said he jumped out, stood there for a second, looked at the people in the car moaning out, bleeding or moaning, and he just ran. Didn't even fucking make an attempt to call anybody for help.
Well, listen, that's one of his biggest wins. That's one of his biggest wins, running over 3 people at the same night, man. That's like George Foreman when he knocked out 3 people in a row. But I wanted to say something about... So Jimmy's saying very little chances that Canelo goes with the PBC. So you have to assume he sticks with Eddie Hearn. Maybe they'll try to do some sort of like a one-fight deal. Remember like when Mayweather used to use Golden Boy as a proxy, right? So maybe that's what Canelo's going to do. But I mean, look, if he wants that Caleb Plant fight, he wants to unify the belt. I keep forgetting who has all the belts. So if he beats Caleb Plant, does he get all 4 belts? Is that it, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have to assume
that Plant has the WBO, I believe.
WBO, yeah.
So you would have to assume that if he beats Plant, that's it at 168. He's probably not going to go after.
Then that's it. He has all 4 belts.
Man,
unified.
Fellas, I'm telling you, man, Triple G still gives, especially maybe if Triple G gets rejuvenated at 168 because he doesn't have to boil himself down to 160. I still think he gives Canelo a hell of a fight, man.
I don't think
I'm going with morals on that fight, but if I'm going with my money, I don't know. I don't think he can beat Canelo because to beat Canelo, man, let's be honest, man, you got to beat the machine, bro. Got to beat the machine. Everything that follows Canelo. Even if it's a close fight, he's not gonna get the nod.
His defense now is so much better than it was before. His defense. If you look back, he never had almost that K stance he has now. Stiff back leg, left leg forward. That's a huge power puncher stance. If a dude comes at you in a gym standing like that, he's looking to throw big shots. But the peekaboo style, he's bending at the waist at a peekaboo style with a puncher stance. It's a tricky way to fight. I mean, Saunders, if there was anybody frustrated, it was Saunders because he's like, I'm not going to be able to put anything on it. And when when you guys watch the fight again, those last 3 rounds before he got stopped, when he threw when he threw his power shot, Saunders, his leg would literally spin around behind it. It would like nothing on those punches. Those weren't going to keep Canelo off him. And you look at Canelo's face. I mean, like, Christ, I jacked my face up worse shaven at the end of the fight. I mean, seriously.
Speaking of the fight, I wanted to ask you, fellas, does anyone know what the scorecards were up to the 8th round?
The official?
Yeah, official scorecards.
No, I don't know.
And people were saying that's okay.
7-1 Canelo.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how do I kick recognize at the group because he couldn't answer my question. No, I'm good. No, but I wanted to say, by the way, people also.
This is what you paid me for.
You want me to go back and look? I got it up on the computer right now. You want me to? I'll go
if
check.
You could, yeah, because I had to leave as soon as the fight was ended. I had to come here and set everything up. But I also heard that Billy Joe Saunders left the ring right away and stepped into the ambulance, or
I don't know, but I saw him.
Yeah,
I
watched
him
it.
step away.
He always stepped into an ambulance. I was watching.
That is true.
ES News, good old Ellie Nutsack. I was watching. He stepped into the ambulance.
Reporting.
Oh my God! Canelo just broke his face, and fucking.
Oh my
Billy
God,
Joe
Billy Joe, your eyes are fucking jacked up. How do you feel?
Fuck off.
Can you picture that moron sticking his mic in your face?
Oh, come on, man. But
can you imagine somebody doing that to you and you don't like him?
Ellie, reporting.
You know, it's interesting because this fight, essentially, he fought a very mobile guy in there and had some trouble. Because, look, some people are in the chat room saying, oh, hold on a second, SSB28, shout out to SSB, says the scorecards were 78-74, 78-74, and 77-75. I'm assuming for Canelo. So shout out to SSB28 for his clarification.
Yeah, that makes sense. So 78-74 would be 6 rounds to 2, which is the proper way to do it.
Exactly what Froch scored.
You score the 8th round. I don't care if he got stopped at the end. The 8th round is completed. Okay? You have to score that round. I don't know what Mannix is thinking, but he forgot to score that. You know, you got to score it.
Unless he was calling it, maybe he was just going it because it's going to go in the books, I believe, right? It depends on the state. Some commissions do it differently. When you don't answer the bell, they call it for round 8. Unless he was doing that, like saying he's the rounds that the fight was stopped in the 8th. But even then, so I guess if that's what he was doing it, right? But still,
his colleague,
he didn't score.
Called it. His colleague said 5 rounds to 3.
Oh yeah, no, I would have done it that your way too. Recognize. I'm just trying to make excuses for the knucklehead.
He didn't score it because he was a little awestruck because he thought that Billy Joe Saunders was getting the momentum, and then all of a sudden that happened in the 8th round to where he didn't process it. Like, oh shit, he must have figured out my thinking is not the way that it's. I want you guys to believe. I was watching some highlights right now, real quick, and Billy Joe Saunders. You know what his mistake was? He started dipping at the waist too much, and when Canelo hurt him, he was basically throwing a body shot that hit his face because he was sinking so low. And Canelo hits harder to the body because he's short and stout. He's got a low center of gravity, and he practices on the bag. Where he's hitting the belly of the bag, and he can catch it. He get a lot of power with them shovel hooks. He basically hit like a shovel hook to the head because Billy Joe Saunders bent it at the waist. If you guys can go back and watch that, you'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what that's why. Listen, when we were watching the highlights yesterday, which ended up getting fucked up because it wasn't working, but at least it showed that Martin Murray and that other Argentinian dude, that's what they were doing. Every time Billy Joe Saunders would throw 1-2, they were trying to counter with the right to the body. Now, those guys don't hit nearly as hard as Canelo, and that's why we keep saying Canelo, on paper, what he's doing is simple, but it's because he's so strong that's why it ends up working. Because Martin Murray,
in ring IQ too, brother. He's reading it. He's reading like a novel. But he's 100% what Gonzalez said. He bent right into the punch. Like Billy Joe Saunders went down to his left like he kept doing, and Canelo just timed it and threw the uppercut.
But that's what I'm saying too. Because like when Martin Murray was catching Billy Joe Saunders doing that, but he just couldn't, like Billy just like, Joe Saunders like, all right, look, listen, I just get a block, and even if he hits me in the arm, head, whatever, I can take it. But with Canelo, he's so, like Recognize keeps saying, he's so much stronger than these guys. It's not even that he hits his power is not wiry power like Deontay Wilder that he'll knock you out with one shot, but it's just brute strength that he can hit you in the elbow, shoulders, whatever, and these guys feel it to the core of their feet, and that's the type of power that can break bones if it hits you on the top of the head.
Speed generates power too.
Exactly.
He comes with such speed. Speed generates the bullet. The faster traveling bullet penetrates more than a slower, bigger bullet because of the speed generates the inertia. So that's exactly what it is, dude. It's not stinging one punch type power. It's just brutal thudding. Oh, I wouldn't want to be punched in the fucking eye socket by that prick.
I could take it, but listen, that's why I want him to fight Triple G, because Triple G, listen, people go back to the Derevchenko fight. Derevchenko was willing to throw his shots in volume because he knew he could sort of flood Triple G's defense with that, because Triple G is not a great counterpuncher, but he still had to walk through hell to get to that point. Canelo's like we saw today, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 punches at a time. Triple G can fight at that pace. Now, yes, in the last one he had to push himself, but every time Canelo is going to throw those wide hooks of his, a jab is going to be right on his face. And let me tell you something, rewatch the second fight, Canelo's head was getting snapped back by those jabs. He can take him because he's a monster, but he didn't like him. And so I think that's going to be an interesting fact in the third fight. I don't see it as an easy fight for Canelo, the rubber match.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. You see how everybody uses the mitts, to warm up. How he carries that drum, that combo drum. It's called the governor bag, where Canelo's, Eddie Reynoso's holding it. He's just unleashing that one punch, where he's training to do what he's doing. I just imagine that's part of their game plan, right? Instead of using the mitts. But yeah, go back to what you were saying, BD.
No, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. But
I love the way he was showboating in the eighth, man, when he started matadoring him. Oh, boy, you knew Saunders was in trouble then, because Saunders, right after he caught that uppercut, literally within 10 seconds, his eye pooled up with blood. So that's why Canelo's like, oh, boy, your eye socket's broken. Let's see how you handle that. And he saw him. He just grabbed him. He was done. I wasn't surprised he didn't come out. I jumped up. I was pumped. Like, fight's over. I knew he was, once his eye was broken. But, yeah, he was matadoring, putting his hand up, playing to the crowd. I'm like, oh, boy. Once you got your fighters playing to the crowd, it's not usually good for you.
Yeah, man. That's why. And this is why I think Stu said it too. Is like, this is why you don't trash talk too much. Because Billy Joe Saunders, why did he started the trash talking the week of the fight, telling Canelo, you ain't never fought anybody with my type of heart, blah blah blah. And what does he do? Look, whether he had a good reason to retire or not in the corner, the visual is still him quitting.
Is that what he said, dude?
That's
he said that, those words? You've never fought anybody with my type of heart?
Yeah, that's what he said when they were facing off the week of the fight. And then, like I said, whether he had good reason to quit or not, the visual is him quitting. So all that trash talking, it only makes things worse. You know what I mean? So I would suggest to these fighters, I know they got to hype the fight up, but just keep your traps shut and let do the talking in the ring. Because this guy now
took his logo. Right, no boxing, no life. He put God, no life.
Oh, well.
You remember the attire he was wearing, the whole team?
Uh-huh.
It's the boxing, no life, but instead of boxing, it was Billy Joe Saunders, the entourage wearing God, no life in the same format.
Well, I mean, my goodness gracious. He should have... Look, listen, he stepped in there against the best... Oh, by the way, can we stop now with the Terence Crawford being number one? Because ESPN, they probably still have Terence Crawford number one now, even after today, but... Look, Canelo fought a top contender in there, undefeated, and he busted him up. Terence Crawford's last opponent, he busted up Kell Brook, who looked like a refugee. He looked like an Ethiopian refugee before the day of the weigh-in. I mean, come on, man.
And then he's fighting the great Josecito Lopez next.
No, please tell me that's not true. Please tell me that's just a little...
I believe so, yes.
I gotta watch... Can anybody confirm or deny that?
What's that again?
Probably Crawford. Not, but that's what I've heard.
He's saying that, I'd heard the rumor that Crawford was going to fight Josecito Lopez next, but the last update I see
I heard that too, yeah. I don't know how true that is, but I hope not.
Well, I hope not, because that's just disgraceful, man. I mean, look, Josecito's a good fighter. He's improved a little bit, but he's still a guy that's been knocked out a whole bunch of times before by lesser fighters, so,
yeah,
Canelo... Yeah, look, listen, the Canelo fight doesn't count because, I mean, he had to go up to 154 to fight a middleweight, essentially.
I mean, that's how long he's been fighting. He got knocked out by Canelo when he was at 154.
Yeah, before Canelo got to the good stuff in the pharmacies. I mean, look, listen, like I keep saying, Canelo, fuck the Caleb Plant fight. If it happens, it's going to be interesting because, look, Caleb, it was kind of satisfying, like Jimmy said, to see Billy Joe Saunders losing tonight because he's been acting like a jackass for the last couple of years. So it would also be fun to see Caleb Plant lose to Canelo because Caleb Plant is another dude that just, he's a little bit too cringe for my taste, man. Especially every time that he fights, they keep bringing up his dead daughter. I mean, come on. Can you just, like, if I were him, I would tell him, look, listen, maybe
Who has a dead daughter?
Caleb Plant,
Caleb
remember?
Plant. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Excuse me. Okay, yeah.
I mean, look, listen, I understand.
I mean, that's fucked up, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't know.
They killed her mother too, the cops, because she put it on a switchblade.
I know his lifestyle is pretty bizarre, to be honest.
He's a shady guy, man. Yeah, he's a shady fella. And like Jimmy, what did you say about Caleb Plant? Like that, he was with the mother of his dead daughter, and all of a sudden, whoops, he's her like just sideways.
Well, he left her with, and he went with the girl from the PBC, Jordan, the girl who was doing the announcing. Yeah, that was when he were trying to bring him along. Yeah, Jordan, exactly, Harding. They were trying to bring him along, and they were really playing up the baby thing and his wife, and like they were just always showing him walking hand in hand. It's brought them closer together, and then Jordan comes sniffing around, and then boom, next thing you know, they're getting married, and so much they don't talk about that baby anymore. God rest their soul, little angel. But yeah, I just think he's a punk, dude. I think he's a paper champ. I just never had much respect for him. But
yeah, I don't see him doing much against Canelo, man. I mean, like I said, his movement and his speed is gonna give Canelo fits, but
he couldn't even hurt Truex, like you said, brother. He couldn't even hurt him. Never. He tried to stop. He couldn't even hurt him.
That's right.
Was Truex at any point even hurt in that fight? I don't think so.
I mean, he was stunned a little bit, but nowhere near what you would expect a young guy. Like, look, Daniel Jacobs is a guy with power. He stopped Truex. I mean, that's a guy who can crack. Caleb Plant, I wouldn't want to take shots from him, but Canelo is not me. He's a... Actually, I think I'm about as tough as Canelo, but I don't show it all that much because I'm not a fighter.
Yeah,
tougher.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You're just as juiced up as him too.
You're Canelo. You're fucking Alvarez with a silky voice.
Okay, Jimmy, if you keep making cracks about my voice one more time, I'm gonna kick you out of here, right, man?
Sorry,
I've had enough of you. I'm not gonna have it today. It's too late. What?
Hey, I gotta say this, man, about Canelo. Canelo's the only major improvement is his power, bro. Which is, because sometimes I hear people say he's new and improved. I'm like, no, he's not. Actually, skill set, he's a little bit less skilled than he used to be, or at least
growth hormone.
Yeah, could be that. But his strength has just fucking damn. I don't know. It notched up like.
He went to Germany. Said, "No wonder you guys almost won the war."
Yeah.
Oh man.
I wonder how much Canelo could bench if he tried benching. If he tried benching this,
I'm looking at his pictures, Gonzalo. I'm looking at the pictures of the fight, and I was noticing when I was watching the fight, right? He looks bigger or just as big as he was when he was at 175 for Kovalev. I think he looks bigger, like stronger. Like he's more cut up with these bulky muscles.
How old is he now?
30.
I bet if he tried benching, he would bench like around 310.
Dude. Oh, easily. He's repping. He's probably doing reps with 315. I wouldn't doubt it.
What? Yeah, benching, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
doing
315.
8 to 10.
He squats too, right? I've seen him squatting. I mean, heavy. He's
breaks the bucket too without a belt. You know how strong you got to be to do that? Like Gonzalo pointed out to me that they're not 45-pound plates. I don't know what type of plates, but I mean, whatever he was doing, it had to be at least 275, and he was breaking the plane, meaning his ass was going past his thigh. It was level with the floor. That's the plane. When you're squatting, you're not really. And when you break the bucket, they say you go even farther down, which that's the real core comes out. and he does that without a belt. So that means he's
That's
working
why.
his
That's
abs.
why he rips into
Yeah.
those punches, bro. Those punches. And you're
Core
right.
is
It's
so
so
strong.
fucking fast. He stands in that case, like that case stance, because he's just ready to rip you with every big shot. You know, with just every shot, it's gonna be fast and loaded up.
Oh
Yeah,
because
Ryan Garcia asked Canelo. He asked him in one of the videos. I was paying attention. He said, "Won't weights make me slower?" And Canelo responded to Ryan Garcia, "No, they will make you better. You're already fast already." So Canelo
Yes.
kind of fell in love with lifting weights because he understood that the trade-off, maybe getting a little muscle bound and losing a little speed, that the trade-off was going to be greater with the power. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
the major trade-off when you bulk with weights, the more muscle you put on, it's going to be oxygen depletion because it takes more takes your body stronger to more effort to put oxygen through the muscle and the blood. So you trade off as it comes down to his speed shouldn't be too affected. It'll just be you might get a little more tired. Like if he was to go in there and throw his combos the way he used to, he couldn't do that. He would be just spent by the fifth or sixth round. So now he's just loading up. Every punch hurts, no matter where it hits you.
It's an interesting. It reminds me a little bit of Shane Mosley, what he would call power boxing, which is just they're quick guys, but what they do is they end up doing a lot of weightlifting, so they can get away with it, like that one punch at a time type of stuff. And on top of that, you need great defense because if you're not punching, the other guy's gonna try to get to you, and that's when you have to move your head and all that. So Canelo's definitely got a unique style that's working for him, and it's gonna take a power puncher. It's gonna take a power puncher to really make him a power puncher with skills. Obviously, I'm not saying just a power puncher, but what else was I
He
gonna
doesn't
say?
waste energy. He just doesn't waste energy. He's learning that from weightlifting because he probably works out on every shit. He probably works out on every muscle in a day. He
Yeah.
probably does that in a day.
And by the way,
Because when
John,
I started power lifting, like I used to always work out with weights, but I'm talking about power lifting. There's a big difference. Like bodybuilders, you do like you do lose that kind of fluidness and longevity, but what you make up for is the fucking power, bro. The power is just
well put.
It's just unique. It's just, dude, you could just you notice the results from being putting on 20 pounds of muscle weight. In his case, it's like 20 to 30.
yeah, it's an interesting, unique case, man. And the thing is, that old adage or rule of don't lift weights, don't lift weights. I think people are starting to realize now, or have realized already, that if you bypass boxing, just lift weights, then you're gonna be a slowpoke. But like
And
Gonzalo,
you got to remember back then, brother, nobody stretched. People didn't understand the importance. Like these were all learned in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The importance, like if I trained a kid back when I was, into training, I was a personal trainer, but mostly I was training guys for bodybuilding shows. But I would first, and they got used to it after a while, but I would make people stretch. Like I would, you sit on the ground in the locker room and you'd pull their arms. And when they're done benching, you put your arm against a door frame and you stretch and you pull your muscles.
Yeah.
That's key. You have to stretch or you become crab-like. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I just
right.
want to put that out there.
And, it's interesting that.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, go ahead, BDO.
No, go ahead.
No, even with that, at least for me, I still notice like just the elusiveness is just a little bit different. But again, it's because every punch is different this time. Every strike you do is just much more different,
Yeah, exactly, man. And I'll tell you one thing, man. The whole stretching thing, that's key right there too, because I don't understand why boxers have always been falling behind a little bit when it comes to these innovations. I mean, in the industry, people were stretching back in the 50s when they were shooting this shit on 8mm. I don't understand why boxers took them so long to start doing that, and strength and conditioning too as well. But listen,
Because look at most of them come out of these old Philly gyms or some rat hole fucking gym, and they just didn't. They'll have an old rusty bench in the corner, so that part of it didn't really enter the sport, like you said. It's boxing's always late to catch up on innovation. I've found myself, anyways.
That's right. Yeah. Listen, fellas, we're gonna call it a night. It's 2 a.m. here, but maybe we do a show tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, with the second Renaissance, I'm gonna do a collaborative playlist. What that means is that it's a playlist that you guys can access, so you guys can put videos there. So we have a whole playlist of shit to watch when we start the show. You know what I mean? We can do a little bit of prep that way. And but remember, make them. If it's a long video, then at least specify which part we're gonna watch, because we can't watch right now. We're not gonna be watching 2-hour documentaries in a row. So just specify the part, or try to find short clips. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be setting that up for second
BJ,
Renaissance.
can I ask you something real quick, dude? Are you liking Canelo a little bit more now? Yeah, I know you're like.
I can answer that.
Like,
no.
Yeah. No. All right. I was just wondering.
Absolutely no. No. Listen. It's not about liking him or whatever. It's just that the guy is unbelievably strong. Unbelievably strong.
I would love to test him for growth hormone. No, seriously, dude. He went to Germany right before, like the 6 months before he got popped for Clenbuterol. And because obviously the best thing, you get a blood workup, and you have, if a doctor actually does a program and you can subscribe the best way, the gains you get, like, I can't stress it enough, that you get from growth hormone are incredible. Your speed, your power. I'm sure he's addicted to it now, and if he keeps taking it, though, that's the problem. Though he's going to be hard, getting harder. It's going to get harder and harder to get down to these weights. And I'll tell you, if the kid I saw in there tonight against Beterbiev, because Beterbiev, I think's chin might be a little suspect. Who knows? I would call it a 50-50 fight. And that's being honest.
Now, in regards to your, that's an interesting take right there. In regards to your question about whether I like Canelo, I mean, I still respect his skills, but in terms of liking the guy, I mean, look, he's a guy who got caught cheating, doubled down, and actually gets angry when people point out the fact that he's cheating. And like Action Jackson in the chat said, he's breaking people's faces. He's breaking people's faces, and you know he's cheating. So, look, like I said before, I think most of these guys are cheating, but it's just the fact that we know it for a fact with him, or to as close a fact as he can get. That's what really...
When you have that kind of money, you can cheat the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what that's about. Yeah, that's all that's about. But look,
you can afford to fly to Germany and have the best, stuff on made. Prescribed to you. That's the best.
I don't care if he does. It's just as long as his competitors are allowed to be as strong as they need to be.
That's what I'm saying. If Triple G fights him in a rubber match, let him fight at 168. Let him come in as heavy as he wants. Let him do the TRT. And
it's got to be 168. You got to come in at 168. But I hope when he says, if he does, hey, if you want to do whatever you want, then let Triple G do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
Well, listen, fellas.
Now, I'll tell you right now, man. It makes it that much more impressive. I just want to say that about Triple G. And he waited him out. Think about how smart Canelo was. He threw his belt away, waited him 2 more years. That's how fucking vicious Triple G was back in 2015, 2016.
Yep.
That's right, man. Yeah. All right, listen, fellas, we got to end it. But thank you for being on. Really appreciate it. Jim, I recognize Gonzalo.
Peace, man.
You guys all be safe, man.
Yeah,
peace, man.
You having a show tomorrow, brother?
Probably,
I'm sure you'll have a lot of callers tomorrow on a Sunday day after. Everybody's already pumped.
Yeah, we didn't get the UK crowd today because it's too late.
I might you guys do a show tomorrow, depending how late. But I'm doing the Happy Mommy's Day thing. So
Good for you, brother.
You know how that goes.
I want to take a second to just give thanks to everybody that I'm really grateful, and I appreciate all you're doing, everybody. Everybody here, all those listeners that donated, and the people that supported me. But the tube is getting removed out of my baby's throat tomorrow, out of my son's throat. It's getting removed tomorrow. All they need to do is just put a little blood.
Awesome, brother. That's awesome.
Yeah, he just needs a little bit of a blood transfusion. Yes.
Thanks,
Jimmy.
God bless. God
the
bless.
Lord
That's
is
so
good.
fucking awesome.
The Lord
little fucking fighter boy.
Everybody did it, man.
Sorry, recognize.
No,
God is good. No. Thanks, everybody.
We did it because everybody did it because you're respected, brother. You're a good man.
That's right, man.
You
That's absolutely right.
deserve it, man.
Thank you.
Hey,
And
go
I
for,
respect
hey, shout out to
everybody too.
fucking Mato. Shout out for your son, man. Mateo, man.
Mateo.
Fucking
That's right. Shout
Mateo.
out to
Sorry,
Mateo.
pronounce it.
Future. He's already a warrior, but he's gonna be.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's gonna be a boxing warrior. That's what I think.
Well, one of his nicknames is gonna be the Filipino Mexican or the Mexican Filipino.
All right, listen, fellas. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk a little bit more tomorrow, perhaps if we do a show. More than likely. Thanks to everybody, La Revolucion, who dropped by Stu as well. Jimmy, Gonzalo, and Recognize.
Gracias a
Thank you, fellas.
todos los BDA fanáticos para todo su apoyo. Viva México.
Fucking Recognize turning into Spanish. He turned into Spanish Harlem Recognize a little bit. Anyway, listen, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Shadow Boxing, Main Banks, Hawker Mustang, Richard Humongous, Main Banks, Deeplex, Norman Luis,
Richard Humongous,
yeah, Julius Evola. Check out Julius Evola's writing, by the way. I know he died a long time ago, but still, nevertheless, good stuff. Main Banks and everybody else, guys. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Catch you on the next one, fellas. Have a good evening. I mean, night. What am I talking about, evening?